But it seems that this Chartiers Valley team is starting to turn in the right direction. They're starting to make some good steps under Lobig, and maybe this could be a night, maybe that they don't win tonight, but at least prove that they belong in the Parkway Conference.
There's plenty of history against Chartiers Valley in this game, and plenty of history polling for West Allegheny. West Allegheny hasn't lost to a Parkway team not named Central Valley since October of 2011. And on the other half, Chartiers Valley, since joining this Parkway Conference and one of the better conference in the WPIAL, they've gone 4-0 against Hopewell, their win last week. 1-20 against the rest of the Parkway Conference, swept in the last 3 seasons by West Allegheny. I know they're really excited about the quarterback, Jake Collins. He's been working with Coach Lobig all summer. Lobig, of course, a quarterback at Duquesne University, also coaching there. Collins' goal is to become a collegiate caliber quarterback, and really he's going to need to show up and play that sort of game against a West Allegheny team that was very impressive in their opener.
They were. The West Allegheny Indians rolled in week 1. A game that a lot of people kind of targeted as a game maybe that could see an upset early on, with Newcastle being pretty highly ranked and pretty highly regarded coming in. That was a tight game for quite a while, and then boom, just Whitney White and Terrence Stevens, the duo, the senior duo in that backfield. They went off 369 combined rushing yards those two had, and they pull away with a 41-14 victory, scoring 20 points in the third quarter of that football game. And that really launched them into the conversation of, you know what, this West Allegheny team, despite the losses that they suffered from last year's team to graduation, they're still just as good as they typically are under Bob Palco.
Yeah, West Allegheny losing the leading passer, rusher, and pass catcher from last season. But really, on this West Allegheny team, you're looking at Terrence Stevens, you're looking at Whitney White, the 2 senior running backs for this team. Terrence Stevens, a Bowling Green recruit, his first carry of the season, a 75-yard touchdown run to set the tone, really, for that game and for the season. Newcastle, a team that many, including the MSA, had ranked 3rd to finish in the Parkway Conference, and that game wasn't even close. A statement early on, and this two-headed monster, you look at the quarterback play for West Allegheny, only 2 passes attempted all game for Nick Ross, and really for Coach Bob Palco, why pass the ball if you don't need to pass the ball to put up the 40 points that you did?
And you look at the run that West Allegheny has had through the Parkway Conference. You mentioned the numbers that West A has had against teams other than Central Valley, and it's remarkable. And what makes it even more remarkable is the fact that this isn't just a conference. This is the Parkway Conference. This has been, at times, the strongest conference in the state, and some would argue even the deepest in the country at one point over the last few years. So to see what West Allegheny has done against their conference opponents is something that has truly been outstanding, and it has not gone Chartiers Valley's way the last 3 meetings since they joined the Parkway Conference. They lost all 3 head-to-head games by a 48-0, 49-0, and 62-14 scores. That is a total of 159-14. That's what I said earlier on the outset. For Chartiers Valley, maybe you don't win the football game tonight, but not getting mercy ruled on your home field the second week of the season could do a lot of good things for this program going forward.
And that's certainly a goal that Chartiers Valley should have in mind. And I know they're confident offensively with Jake Collins, the dual-threat quarterback, Joe Antonucci coming over from the basketball team, playing receiver for this team, someone with great body control, caught a touchdown last week. He's certainly a target. And a couple of backs in the backfield. Dominic Poche averaged over 7 yards a carry when he lined up as running back last season. But the defense, that's certainly an issue. You look at last week against Hopewell, 2 long touchdown passes given up against Hopewell, and really, with the playmakers that West Allegheny has, poor tackling won't be forgiven very easily, especially with the speed of Stevens and White.
Well, in last year's ball game, it was, as we mentioned, a 62-14 West Allegheny victory. West A, they jumped out to a 35-14 halftime lead and just cruised the rest of the way. Chase Dillon, who is now departed, 153 yards, 3 touchdowns in that game on just 11 carries. Whitney White had 2 touchdowns on 113 yards on only 4 carries. So 4 carries, 113 yards for the big play man in White. And Terrence Stevens added 53 yards and a touchdown as well on just 5 carries. That's 319 yards on 6 touchdowns. And only 20 carries of the football between those 3 guys. A pretty impressive mark what they did a year ago. That means that Char Valley, they're going to have to be better tackling in this ballgame. In that ballgame last year, though, Jake Collins struggled. 3 of 6 through the air for only 10 yards. He did, however, do some good things on the ground. 138 yards rushing for him on just 7 carries. And that could be an element of his game where it's his bread and butter running the football. They've tried to make him more of a pocket passer. But in a game like this, against a daunting defense in West Allegheny that was one of the best in the WPIAL last year, averaging just 13.9 points allowed per game, he might have to get out and run a little bit. He ran 99 yards last week. He's going to have a similar type of performance again this week.
Absolutely. 99 yards on the ground, 157 yards through the air last week. It was enough to get it done. 2 touchdown passes in the first half to go along with a touchdown run. He's going to need to put together a complete performance in both halves if Chartiers Valley even wants to compete in this game. And on the other side, when you look back at that Week 1 matchup, we saw a lot of eye for him, a lot of tight ends in the game, a lot of people in the backfield. I expect to see a tight end and a fullback on just about every snap behind an extremely imposing offensive line, almost 1,400 pounds up front for West Allegheny. They were able to push around Newcastle, a team that lots of people were very high on coming into the season, and have their way, only having to pass the ball twice. If West Allegheny can impose their will, they'll just continue to do it over and over and over again, as we saw last week.
Captains is meeting at midfield. Captains for West Allegheny: Skylar Mason, Terrence Stevens, Tom Burke, Whitney White, and Justin Baker. For Char Valley, Jake Collins, the quarterback, as we mentioned, Delmar King, a very talented corner and receiver, as well as Logan Ford and Nathan Kiefer, a couple of linemen for Char Valley. West Allegheny won the toss. They defer to the second half. Char Valley will take the ball, so they're going to send Collins out there right away. An early chance here, their first game on their home field this year in the brand new uniforms, the gray unis with the blue lids. A chance for them to come out and make some noise here on what is a pretty nice little atmosphere for football. Beautiful night right now. Blue skies overhead. Temperatures in the mid-70s. It is perfect for WPIAL football. No lightning, which is what we had last week, which delayed a handful of games. Some games ending after midnight last week to start the WPIAL football season. The ball is on the tee. Delmar King is going to be the deep man. Kicking off, and this will be a story throughout the night, will be Colby Stout. Stout is replacing DJ Upstatnik, the longtime kicker, and a great one for West Allegheny, who is injured. He will not play tonight. Bob Palco, in typical form, did not release any information on when he might or might not return. Low kick fielded at the 5-yard line by King. He brings it to the near side, crossing the 15, crossing the 20. He meets traffic and will be pushed out of bounds by 3 different West Allegheny Indians. And the opening drive for Char Valley will start with 11:53 to go in the first quarter at the 22-yard line.
Jake Cunningham on the stop.
Jake Cunningham, you hear the call, the man that pushed him out last. So Chartiers Valley with Jake Collins at quarterback. They're going to line up in a pistol set. They bunch 3 men off to the right side, standing right on the 20, marked on the field on the near sideline. Dominic Poche is the deep back. They hand it to him. He gets a small hole off the left side, then cuts it back towards the middle, up over the 25, down to about the 26-yard line. It's a gain of 4 for Poche. Again, Dominic Poche getting the start in the backfield. We'll also see Steve Alzin, Phil Pisano. The receiver is going to be Jared Nelson, Joe Antonucci, Delmar King, and Riley O'Neill. Eric Atchison is the tight end. We'll get to the linemen in just a moment. 2 flank out to the left, 1 to the near sideline. Collins in the pistol. He's going to throws one short. Looking for a man in the slot. That was King. It skipped on its way there. Left to right on the offensive line, Corey Snyder, Dante Panucci, Daniel Magoo, Tyler Terrell, and Nathan Kiefner. Those 5 guys are going to have their hands full, Andy, with this big front of... And really, that goes on both sides of the big front of West Allegheny. A big offensive line, big defensive line, and this West Allegheny team is so talented on defense. You said
big offensive line. 3 of the starters on the defensive line in this 34 front are also playing and starting on the defensive side. Hands full, certainly, for Chartiers Valley.
Empty set here, 3 receivers to the far side. High snap fielded by Collins. He's going to look to run. Comes to the near side after shaking free of a man. A flag flies as he crosses the 30 and steps out of the 31. It looks like he's going to be about a yard or a half a yard short of the first down, but that flag could be bringing it all back as Chartiers Valley begins to walk towards their own goal line. Already, though, you see the nimbleness and the shiftiness of Jake Collins, who's a very talented runner. That play broke down instantly, and he had to go. And Bob Palco far out on the field on the far side. Palco, the head coach for West Allegheny, now in his 21st season. 7 WPIAL championships under his belt. Just an incredible number for Bob Palco. One of the best, no doubt about it. At the end of the day, they're going to look back, and as this is being marked off, a holding call will take it back 10 yards, and we will replay third down, it looks like. But Bob Palco, at the end of the day, one of the best.
And his son has a special claim to fame, the last man to start in front of Joe Flacco.
That is correct. That is correct. Here's the snap on a third down. They throw one into the flat on the far side. That is in and out of the hands. Reaching for it was Steve Alzin, and he couldn't haul it in, so an incomplete pass, and that'll bring up fourth down. Not the start, Andy, that Char Valley was hoping for. You want to come out and pose some sort of will on that front, and they're able to get some yardage, but the penalty took them back, and now you have to punt it away.
A net negative on that drive, not what you're looking for to start the game at all.
Logan Scott will punt it away. Brandon Lippard stands at the 48, and the punt is blocked. Going in and getting a hand on it is Will Weber. The ball is still loose. It's picked up by Kenny White, and he's going to go in for a West Allegheny touchdown. A terrible start for the Colts. A great start for the Indians. They get a 3-and-out, and then a blocked punt returned by Kenny White for a touchdown.
I'm not sure you could script it any worse if you're Chartiers Valley offensively going backwards, the punt getting blocked for a touchdown.
And the man in there that got a hand on it was Will Weber. And not a good start for Char Valley. White picked it up around the 10-yard line and just waltzed in on the far side of the end zone. West Allegheny up 6-0. The extra point is up, and it is good. An early strike comes on special teams for the Indians. They lead 7-0, 10:45 to go here in the first quarter. You're listening to the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week. It's our Spotlight Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
The history books are filled with the names of great athletes and great teams from Western Pennsylvania. They share stories of great victories and stunning defeats, but they all have one thing in common. They know the championship season is the time to be first. First Commonwealth Bank, proud sponsor of the WPIAL and the best high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. First Commonwealth, time to be first.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, First in Turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, First in Turf.
Stout kicks off again. Fielding it at the 10 is King. King brings it to the near sideline, has some running room up over the 25, over the 30. Crosses the 35 and will be pushed out around the 36. So a good return there of about 26 yards for Delmar King. Char Valley down 7-0 early, in case you're joining us a little bit late. A 3-and-out forced by the West A defense. And then, boy, what a big play. Andy coming off the edge. Will Weber comes in, gets a hand on the ball, picked up by Kenny White. He walks it in for the touchdown.
Special teams coming through for West Allegheny early. We're expecting it offensively and defensively, but doing it in the third facet already tonight.
All right, so here we go again. Dominic Pochi will get the handoff on first down, and he runs into a wall in the center of that line. And he will lose a yard on the play. In there, big number 58 on that D-line. That is Derek Klontz, 6'4", 300-pound defensive tackle. And we'll see them rotate D linemen throughout the night. They have 9 guys, West Allegheny, that can play on that 3-man front. So a loss of 1 for Pochi. And they will give it to him again. He is going to be wrapped up, and he is going to be dropped. Not getting much there. Knifing in was Jake Cunningham, the outside linebacker. Picked up 8 tackles a week ago, and he comes in and stops it for about half a yard. They'll give him on the play, Poche, and that's it. So 2 plays, no yardage gained positively for Char Valley. Pistol set again, 3 men to the far side of the field. Collins will take the snap, drops back, throws one to the outside, has a man, it's King, he makes the catch. He'll dive forward past the first down sticks to the 50-yard line. A pickup of 14. A nice throw and catch there.
Finally some life for Char Valley, a very good route. Getting to the sticks on that 3rd down where he needed to be was Delmar King, away from any defenders, and that's really the first time we've seen this quarterback, Jake Collins, have a chance to drop back and set his feet and make a throw, and he made a good one there.
King now lines up in the slot on the near side. 2 men out to the right. Again, the pistol set. Collins will take the snap, fakes the handoff, quick hitter over the middle. He has Atchison. The tight end, Eric Atchison, pulls it in, dives forward, has enough for the first down. It's a pickup of about 13 on the play, and a good little quick hitter on the fake handoff.
In the past 2 first downs for Char Valley, they've gone with that little handoff up the middle. This time they went play action and had the man over the middle. Both linebackers on the inside sucked up, leaving the middle of the field open.
Getting the commands from the sideline is Jake Collins. Looks over at Neil Lobig. Coach Lobig in his 3rd season as the Colts head coach. Was the passing game coordinator at Duquesne. Then took a job at a high school in Florida, then moved back to the area after the birth of his son. Here's a fumble on the exchange. The ball is loose, and could it be a turnover? Here it is. Coming away with the football is Justin Baker, the defensive tackle. There was a handoff that was misexchanged. The ball hit the turf. Collins tried to get back on it, and West A recovers. They will take over at their own 37-yard line.
It looks like a zone read concept where the quarterback Collins had the option of keeping it or handing it off to Poche, but really there he was indecisive, was caught in the middle, and then he was hit in the backfield and wasn't able to secure the football. Another disaster here early for Char Valley, but this time their defense gets to take the field, and we now get a chance to see Terrence Stevens and Whitney White for West Allegheny.
West A starts at their 37. First time we've seen their offense. It's going to be an I formation. They're going to hand it off to Terrence Stevens. Has a hole on the right side, but it closes quickly. Getting in there and getting a hand on him was Dante Panucci, the defensive end, and that will go for no gain.
And really the story for West Allegheny in week 1 was the dominance of the run game, only needing to throw the football twice all day with quarterback Nick Ross. They were content to just ground and pound the whole day. We'll see how Chartiers Valley approaches their offense.
Skylar Mason, the lone receiver, goes towards the far sideline. Heavy set here in the backfield. I formation, they move a tight end over, and they hand it off to Stevens. Stevens bounces off a man in the backfield, still on his feet. He turns the corner, he has the sideline. Looks like he might have enough for the first down. He was being pursued heavily out of bounds as C.J. Saluga, the safety, got over to knock him out. They're going to say, though, that he stepped out of bounds, and it looks like he might be short of that first down marker.
Right. Riley O'Neill certainly had a shot to get him a yard, 2 yards deep, but then there you see that next levelism from Terrence Stevens, a Bowling Green recruit, able to make a man miss, shake it off, and then accelerate into that second level where it's really challenging for guys to bring him down. They had to push him out.
A long 3rd and 2 coming up. They're going to say that his foot hit out of bounds on that far sideline. Again, they bring it heavy towards the formation. Under center is Nick Ross. Hands it off to Stevens. Stevens up the middle, bullying his way forward towards midfield. He has enough for the first down. It's going to be a pickup of 4.
And really with that formation, it's no secret what West Allegheny is going to do. No receivers split out, just fullbacks and tight ends in front of Stevens. And really, Bob Palco's unit, they're going to show you what they're going to do, and they went ahead and executed a 3rd and short situation. No secrets there. Quality push up front by the offensive line.
That offensive line, left to right, Derek Klontz, Keeman Furman, Justin Baker, Sam Hammers, and Nick Lanero. A big offensive line that averages 277 pounds across that front. You throw a tight end on there as well, and they're a heavy group up front. Here comes the handoff to the left side. Stevens bouncing off a couple of men, dives his way over the 45-yard line down to about the 47, or excuse me, the 43. It's going to be a pickup of 7 yards. So another good gainer there for Stevens, his 4th carry in a row.
And Stevens now going to the sideline to get a blow, but what a luxury West Allegheny has now. Whitney White in the game in the backfield. Oh, by the way, he ran for over 150 yards and 3 touchdowns back in week 1. It's really a luxury to have 2 backs, seniors who've been contributing all these years for West Allegheny.
And that is the West A style, multiple guys that can run the football. Split eye, they motion a tight end and Anthony Delavade from right to left. Hand off to White. White kind of toting the football very loosely there away from his body, but will dive forward, picks up about a yard on the play as Delmar King got in there to disrupt. Just a gain of a yard. That'll bring up another 3rd down, 3rd and 2.
And we'll see how active the secondary is in setting an edge for these outside runs. White had to cut that one up the field sooner than he wanted to. And if you notice the way the safety's been playing, they haven't been more than 8 yards from the line of scrimmage. A lot of guys in the box, as they say, against this running attack of West Allegheny.
Heavy formation again. They put 2 men on the left side of the line, including Matt Holmes, who has his hand in the ground as a tight end. Hand off to White, has some running. Excuse me, that's Stevens now checked back into the ballgame. Stevens dances across the 1st down marker, cuts it back to the 35, has enough for a gain of 7 and a 1st down. 2 first downs picked up, both of them coming on 3rd down plays. Over on the far sideline is Nick Ross, gets the play. We mentioned Stevens and White in the backfield. We'll see Tom Burke, Max Clements lining up at fullback or tight end, Matt Holmes, Joe Bluesman as well. Skylar Mason is the starting receiver. He's been out on the field so far. I-back set. Under center is Ross. Ross gets low, takes the snap, hands it off. White near side, not much running room. Gains about a yard. The defense there, good pressure on that right side of the line. Daniel Magoo, Nathan Kiefner, Alec Curran, and Dante Panucci, the starters on that defensive front. Jared Lewis, Dominic Pochi, and Anthony Anamastico are the linebackers. CJ Saluga and Riley O'Neill, the safeties, and Delmar King, Shane Waldron, we will see at the corner position. We're going to give it a yard on the play to White. The 7th play of the drive, all runs so far. 2 receivers, 1 on each side. Faking the handoff is Ross, rolls to the right, he's going to throw, has a man, and it is caught, pulled in by Jake Cunningham. He's up the far sideline, and he'll be pushed out of bounds. Big pickup there for West A. That ball nearly intercepted, but Cunningham was able to grab it, and Jared Nelson over on the play for Chartiers Valley to get him out of bounds.
And really the first time we've seen Bob Palco put the ball in Nick Ross's hands, and he faced some pressure. Some guys were in the backfield forcing him to roll to his right and making a nice enough throw to get in front of the corner there. And really a gamble on the part of Chartiers Valley, but one that would be worth it, especially the way that West Allegheny's moving the football on the ground.
Pickup of 16 yards brings up a 1st down and 10, ball at the 18-yard line as we tick under 4 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. Everybody in the box for Char Valley. Handoff right side, not much running room. Getting 2 or 3 on the play is Terrence Stevens. But this is what West Allegheny does. Even if you hold them 2 or 3 yards, they'll just keep grinding and grinding. And then those 2 3-yard games start to become 5, 6, 7, 8-yard games. We've seen West Allegheny do this throughout the years where they just muscle their way down the field in short bunches. And you see them doing it again here on their opening offensive drive of the ballgame, already up 7-0 thanks to the block punt return for a touchdown.
And once we move down the field, we're starting to get into 4-down territory. So then you've got 3rd and shorts, which West Allegheny is very confident in, and 4th and shorts, which are still situations that they can run the football in.
They're going to run a pitch play to the near side, and Stevens has some running room up the middle, still on his feet inside the 5. He dives forward. Touchdown, West Allegheny. Terrence Stevens from 16 yards out puts West A on the board again. A great run as he got the pitch, came towards the near sideline, then cut it up the middle and just muscled his way through arm tackles into the end zone.
He stuck his left foot in the ground and got north and south in a step, 2 steps after catching that pitch. A really nice job of reading what he had in front of him. And really, it's challenging to bring him down with one guy, whether you're a linebacker, defensive lineman, or defensive back. And he's proven it there. He's proven it over his entire career. Things aren't looking good here early for Char Valley.
A 10-play drive. And now Stout will come out to kick the point after. It's a line drive kick. It is up and good. 10 plays on the drive. They take 5 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock. And West Allegheny strikes again. They lead 14-0 here in the opening quarter. It's the ProGrass First and Turf game of the week right here on the MSA Sports Network.
UPMC Sports Medicine is the region's largest and most experienced center dedicated to caring for athletes of all levels. And as we celebrate more than 25 years of world-class care, we're proud to offer more services, have more physicians, and treat more student athletes than any other sports medicine provider in the region. Why would you choose to go anywhere else? To learn more, call 1-855-93-SPORT or visit upmcsportsmedicine.com.
That drive, 10 plays, 63 yards it covers in 5 minutes and 40 seconds, capped off by a 16-yard run by Terrence Stevens on his 7th carry of the drive. It is now 14-0. West Allegheny in the lead, and boy, we have West Allegheny ranked number 2. They are looking just like our rankings said. They might be the number 2, who knows, maybe the number 1 team in AAA. West Allegheny looking very good on both sides of the football and in special teams early on.
Good news for West Allegheny as well. Central Valley taking a loss last week.
Yep.
Central Valley having a tougher time adjusting to the graduation hits. So really a positive for West A.
Delmar King will field the kickoff at the 10-yard line, dancing around, nowhere to go. And he's going to be driven back as he retreats to the 10-yard line. In there again is Kenny White. That's who scored the touchdown on the block punt earlier. And he comes in and makes a fine tackle on special teams on that kickoff.
Delmar King, the last time he returned the kickoff, had a nice big return all the way up to the Char Valley 36-yard line. That time, trying to do a little bit too much, going east and west and going backwards for part of that return. Not going to help, especially when you've got a special teams unit swarming like West A was on that play.
So they come back out. The Char Valley sending a man over, and Allison is Collins. Collins going to drop back, looks to throw. Now he has a hole up the middle. He runs into a man at the 15-yard line. He'll grab 4 yards on the play.
That was a positive play for Collins, but he had his man he sent in motion, Alzen in the flat, and no defender within 20 yards of him. And I know there's been a lot of talk about Jake Collins wanting to step up and be a leader and be a quarterback for the next level. Relying on his athleticism got him 5 yards, but if he found his man in the flat, that could have been a much larger gain for Chartiers Valley.
2 men split out left, 1 to the near sideline. 2 men join him in the backfield. That's Alzen and Poche. High snap, he'll give it to Poche. Poche breaks a tackle on the left side, then stepping up is White. White can't make the tackle, bounces right off of him, and will finally be thrown down around the 20-yard line. And a West Allegheny Indian is slow to get up in the backfield, and that is White. Kenny White, who's had a nice game so far, is making his way over. Looks like he's maybe holding his left shoulder after missing that tackle of Poche. To pick up a 5 on the play, and we'll bring up another 3rd down. This will be a 3rd and 1. That's kind of a big play here early in this ball game as well for the Colts. Have not looked great on offense so far. Did have a big hitter on a pass play earlier, a couple of them actually. But a blocked punt and a fumble have been their first 2 drives. A fake handoff, now a pitch to the left side to Alzen, and he has stood up and dropped for a loss. Great pressure by the West Allegheny defense. Whitney White was in there as well as Skylar Mason, great pursuit there by the West Allegheny defense.
And it's so tough for Chartiers Valley. A 3rd-and-1 situation is no gimme against this West Allegheny defense. And on the other side of the field, West A wants to be in those 3rd-and-short situations where they can just impose their will on the Chartiers Valley defense. That doesn't go both ways. They're really struggling in 3rd-down situations so far.
Brandon Lipford is back to receive the punt, and it is blocked again. Getting in there yet again is Will Weber, the ball to the far sideline. Weber will pick it up, and the West Allegheny special teams is 2 for 2 on blocked punts. Unbelievable play again by Weber.
What's unbelievable is the fact that he did the exact same the same thing that he did the first time. He came unblocked from the left side. No one gave him a second thought, and he was in the backfield instantly.
And looking at the far sideline, there is an official who is down, and immediately everybody in the area just past the 10-yard line began to call for the medical trainers and potentially here the paramedics. They did not see what happened on the far sideline, as it looked like the play was nearly over, and then it was either one of the officials, I believe it was an official, or one of the chain gang members went down on the far sideline. Just hope that everything is okay on that far sideline. We will go ahead and step aside and be back after these words. 32 seconds to play here in the first quarter. We have an official that appears to be injured on the far side of the field. West Allegheny up 14-0 here on MSA Sports.
Who says you can only enjoy breakfast in the morning? And who says you can only enjoy it one type of way? At Dunkin' Donuts, breakfast is delicious any kind of way, any time of day. A breakfast craving can strike any time, whether it's morning, noon, or night. Dunkin' has the perfect combination of breakfast deliciousness to satisfy any craving. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant, ham, egg, and cheese on an English muffin. All your favorites anytime you want them. Stop by Dunkin' for breakfast anytime. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything, right? I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
All right, we welcome you back here to Chartiers Valley. An official shaken up on the last play, which was a blocked punt by Will Weber, the second blocked punt he has had in this ballgame. The ball rolled towards the far sideline, and I'm not sure if the official over there got tangled up with the players or what exactly happened, but went down immediately. This began to call for assistance, and you just hope for the best here. Looking at tonight's officials, the head referee is Roy Conrad, the umpire Jeff Tash, the head linesman Bob Kearns, the line judge Todd Rulo, the back judge is Jim Sapeski, and the side judge is Tom Corpiel. Not sure who that was caught up in that play. I don't want to speculate on that, but whoever it was over there, you certainly hope that everything is okay. But a scary situation there with an official going down after that play on the far sideline.
This is the chance for Coach Lobig to really have a talk with his team about the situation that they're in right now. Last year, a 35-14 game at the half against this West Allegheny team. Really, at every turning point thus far in the first quarter, it's gone against Chartiers Valley, and once again, another blocked punt. When you look at the Char Valley drives, a blocked punt after going backwards, a fumble after getting into West Allegheny territory, and then another blocked punt after failing a third and short situation. So really not the start that you're looking for if you're Char Valley. But hopefully the Colts can regroup and make this a game, and hopefully this official is all right.
Well, the good news is that whoever it is has sat up. They've put him on a cart on the far sidelines, and it looks like maybe instead of necessarily a medical or health type of thing, it hopefully is just some sort of injury or something like that. We can see him over there. He's sitting up on the cart, and they're driving off. He looks to be okay. He's actually smiling. I can see him through the binocular smiling over there as they drive him off towards the bleachers on the far side. So that is certainly a good thing to see, no doubt. You hate seeing an official or anybody go down on the far sidelines. Very dangerous over there on the sidelines, and you hope that that referee is okay. It will be West Allegheny football here. 32.6 to go on the first quarter clock. They're going to take over after the block punt on the 10-yard line of Char Valley. They're actually now walking. They have paramedics here. They're going to walk a stretcher across the field over to the official just to check on him and potentially get him out of the stadium here tonight. So we're going to have to wait until the stretchers make their way across the field. But Char Valley doing their best to take care of one of the officials for tonight's ball game. Well, some of the top athletes in the WPIAL are featured every week on the MSA Sports Center stage, which you can view on our YouTube page. Log on to our website this fall at msasports.net and check out which athletes we are talking to. Plus, our weekly game lights are also now featured here on the MSA.
Looking into the West Allegheny huddle, I see two tight ends already. We're probably going to see a fullback. If anything earlier in this game is an indication. At West Allegheny, we've seen one pass here in the first half. Last game, there was only one pass in the first half against Newcastle. They're quite content with just pounding the football up the middle until Chartiers Valley shows that they're going to put them in the third and long situations that really warrant passing plays. And so far, not the case at all.
So the athletic staff here for Char Valley making their way off of the field. And now they are sending the teams towards the sideline. I'm not sure what's going on here. West Allegheny began to walk to their sideline, and now they are coming back towards the formation. So looks like we're ready to resume. Again, if you're joining us a little bit late, a blocked punt, the second blocked punt of the game for West Allegheny. And on the far side, an official, it appeared, was caught in the play and went down and is now being attended to by medical and paramedic staff on site here. So we're ready to resume this football game. Terrence Stevens will be the deep back, and the officials, again, calling this one, potentially just trying to figure out, the officials are, who goes where for these plays. And now the head referee and Roy Conrad is coming over, and they're going to say, yeah, it's an and goal situation. So they had 1st and 10 on the clock. Looked like time ran off the clock as well. There was 32 seconds remaining. Now there's 24.9 on the clock, and I think that's what the officials are trying to indicate to the press box here, was that there should be about 8. They're going to put 8 seconds back on. Should have been about 8.9, but we're not going to argue. All right, so a split-eye set. 2 men off to the right side, 1 at the receiver position in Mason. Terrence Stevens, the deep back. They slide a tight end in motion from right to left. That's Delevate. Hand off Stevens. Up the middle. Up over the 5. Hurdles a man. Gets inside the 5. Barreling his way towards the end zone. And he is going to be stopped just shy of the goal line. Nearly another spectacular run by Stevens right up the middle. He picks up 9. And that might take us to the end of the first quarter. The 8th carry of the first quarter for Terrence Stevens. 7 seconds to play here in quarter number 1. And they are going to try to get the play off. They do get the play off. They hand it to White. He dives into the end zone for a touchdown for West Allegheny. Maybe catching Char Valley off guard there by going for it quickly before the first quarter clock ran out, and they put it in from 1 yard out. It is Whitney White. He has 3 carries for 3 yards and a touchdown. Jerome Bettis type fantasy numbers. 2 plays. They punch it in after the blocked field goal. West Allegheny rolling early. Stout will attempt the extra point. That kick is up. It is down the middle, and it is good. That takes us to the end of the first quarter. 21 points on the board for West Allegheny. They have run it well, and they have blocked a couple of punts along the way as well. And they lead it 21-0 over Chartiers Valley after a quarter of play. You're listening to the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
MSA Sports broadcasts are now available on both Android and iOS devices. Just navigate to the game of your choice, and on your mobile device, press the arrow or play button. It's that easy. No app needed. No matter where you are, MSA Sports content is available at your fingertips via your iPad, Android phone, iPod, and iPhone. Anytime, anywhere, always there. The MSA Sports Network.
Attention high school seniors. As one of America's top colleges, you'll want to join Grove City College for its Senior Crimson Day on Saturday, October 10th. You'll have the opportunity to explore more than 50 majors and learn more about the value of a Grove City College education. In fact, Grove City College has the lowest cost of any private four-year college in Pennsylvania. Register online today for our Saturday, October 10th, Senior Crimson Day at gcc.edu or call 724-458-2100. Grove City College, because faith and freedom matter.
Along with Andy Stanko, I'm Josh Rowntree here at Chartiers Valley High School. This is the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network. After one quarter, West Allegheny rolling 21-0 over Chartiers Valley. A great start for the Indians. They've blocked a couple of punts along the way, and now they are going to kick off going from left to right. A low kick, and Alzen will field it around the 10-yard line, comes to the near side, dips his head over the 25, and down to about the 27 or 28-yard line is where Char Valley will start. But what a terrific start to this football game, Andy, for West Allegheny. The special teams have been just that special.
You couldn't have asked for anything more out of that unit. 2 blocked punts, both of them by Will Weber, both of them him coming in untouched, one of them ending in a score, the other one ending in a scoring drive. And really on the other side, Chartiers Valley offensively is finding itself in 3rd and long situations, and when they found themselves in the 3rd and 1, they weren't able to convert either. Staying on the field has been a problem.
11:55 to play here in the quarter. They're going to throw one to the far side. It skips, and they're going to call it an incomplete pass on the far side of the field. As they tried to throw one in the flat, did Collins to Alzen. Skipped on the way there. They rule it incomplete. Looked like it might have been a backwards pass, but they do say incomplete. Collins in that first quarter, 2 for 4 for 27 yards. They just could not run the ball. Less than 15 yards. And now an official from the near sideline comes in. Bob Palco out on the field, having words with the officials. And where are they bringing this football? I guess they're going to bring it back towards the middle of the field. Second down coming up. It is Collins in pistol. Right behind him is Phil Pisano. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Coming to the near side, it's King. He makes the catch, dives forward. Looks like he has enough for the first down right around the 41-yard line. A good pass and a good reception there by Delmar King. However, there is a marker down on the far side of the turf. That would be a gain of about 12 yards. But hold the phone. Collins shrugging his shoulders a bit there, leans his head back as if he's frustrated, and this is going to be a penalty against Chartiers Valley. Second flag on the Colts so far.
Judging by the location of that flag all the way across the field, most likely something that didn't even have to do with the completion. It was a nice little concept there when Nelson clearing out the defensive backs by going deep. and then a nice little out to pick up first down yardage, but you can't have that when you're playing against a team of a caliber of West Allegheny and when you're playing as poorly as Chartiers Valley has early on.
So they will replay second down. Back to throw is Collins. Has a man on the far side. That is King. King, little dipsy-do move on the far side, and he'll step out of bounds near the first down sticks. They're going to mark him short, though. They're going to say his foot hit the sideline about 2 yards short. That'll be a gain of 12 on the hitter to Delmar King.
Delmar King is one of the players that Coach Lobig really singled out, with the other, of course, being the quarterback Collins. It's a guy who potentially could play at the next level, and you saw him right there make a man miss, pick up those extra yards after the catch. And now it's the third and manageable situation for Chartiers Valley after a second and long.
Getting a text in from MSA World Headquarters about the call, the backwards lateral. We thought it looked like a backwards lateral. From the video feed that we have going upstairs, they said it sure enough did look like a backwards lateral that was called an incompletion. Here comes Collins. Collins to the left side has enough for the first down. He's being tracked down, stiff arms a man, and will finally fall to the turf, and a late flag will come in as Stevens and White came over. It looked like Stevens knocked him down, and then White came in after and polished him off, and that's going to be a 15-yard penalty or a personal foul. A nice run there on third down for the quarterback Collins.
Some signs of life out of Chartiers Valley, and I was sitting here wondering why doesn't Collins just go down? He can slide, he's a quarterback. But really, by the time he was wrestled down, he took advantage of a West Allegheny defense that was eager to hit a quarterback. So they'll take those free yardage.
It's a pickup of 4 yards on the play after all was said and done, but then a 15-yard marker against the Indians. Knowing the type of coach that Bob Palco is and the type of disciplinarian that he is, he's not going to like that very much.
No.
Darren Stevens and Whitney White are going to hear about that one for sure when they make their way back to the sideline. It'll be Collins in the pistol yet again. Dotting behind him is Pisano. 2 men out right. King stands in the slot. Near sideline is Joe Antonucci, very talented basketball player. Quick hitter as they look for King in the slot. The ball was tipped. Stevens nearly was able to get to it behind the play, and that will drop for an incompletion. Mentioned Joe Antonucci, a talented basketball player. Chartiers Valley really has become known for their hoops team under head coach Timmy McConnell, winning the WPIAL championship last year. Tim's son, Matty, leading the way to the title. Matty heading off to RMU to play basketball for the Colonials. Here's the handoff to Pisano, has some running room. He's a shifty running back, bursting through the offensive line. Nice pickup there for about 6 yards on the play.
We've seen Dominic Pochi have some powerful runs, really brush back some defenders trying to bring him down, and Pisano, a much smaller guy, 20 pounds lighter, a couple inches shorter. A little bit of a change of pace here, and I know Coach Lobig likes to work with a stable of backs, each of them bringing a different skill set to the table.
10.5 minutes to play here in this second quarter. Here's the snap. They're going to fake the handoff. Collins keeps it. He has some running room. Collins over the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. He's going to take it for a Chartiers Valley touchdown. That is what Jake Collins can do. 34 yards to the house, and Char Valley's on the board. However, it does sound as if there is a flag on the play. We will see. There's a marker at the 15-yard line, so this could potentially wipe away the big run and the touchdown. Chartiers Valley, they look distraught.
That's so deflating. That was an outstanding fake on that zone read. It had me fooled. It had about 4 defenders in the backfield fooled.
Well, the ball was snapped from the 34-yard line, and they are going to place it at the 30 on the 10-yard penalty. So the run will go for, let's see what they decide here. They're again talking about it, potentially a 14-yard run, then with a 10-yard penalty tacked on the Colts. That's Char Valley's 3rd penalty of the ball game. They've had some costly ones so far, too.
Oh, absolutely. And that was the biggest play that Char Valley has had all day, and it was misdirection. Char Valley is not going to push West Allegheny around. They were able to use the zone read there to get a bunch of guys going the wrong way, and then Jake Collins is a good athlete on his own, able to make a guy miss and outrun everyone to the end zone. Those are the type of plays that Char Valley needs to get back in this game.
So call it a gain of 14. Here's Collins again, this time going to run up the middle. He's going to meet some resistance and be brought down near the line of scrimmage. In there on the play was Cameron Cornell, the linebacker, an outside linebacker for this team. They play does West A, kind of a 3-5 front. They're going to stack the box on you. Matt Holmes, Justin Baker, Kiernan Furman on the line. Jake Cunningham, Cameron Cornell, you saw right there. Joe Glusman, Tom Burke, Anthony Delavate at the linebacker spot. So just a 1-yard gain. A timeout will be taken by West Allegheny. A 2nd and 9 upcoming. This will be the 7th play of this drive for the Indians. Well, coming up at the half, it's the MSA Sports Halftime Show. This week, Don Rebel and Mike White of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette will take a look at the players to watch around the WPIAL in 2015. They don't just call them the players, they call them the playas. And you will hear all about that in a little bit. The infamous halftime show done in week 2 every year. The playas, Mike White and Don Rebel. At the break, coming up, 9:46 to go here in this first half. Don't forget to tune in this week in the WPIAL. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. Join us as we visit with some of the top WPIAL coaches. And we preview week 3 of this exciting 2015 WPIAL football season. Looking at some scores from around AAA. TJ, Thomas Jefferson, a surprising loss last week to Ringgold. Could they go 0-2? So far, so good. They lead 14-0 over Bell Vernon in the second quarter of that ball game. Here comes Collins. 2 men left, 1 to the far sideline. 2nd and 9, drops back, scrambling, looking, throws over the middle, has a man, pulling it in inside the 15, down to about the 12-yard line is Jared Nelson. First we've seen out of Nelson today, and it'll go for a first down.
And Jake Collins, a very nice job of following his progression on that play. He was looking for Antonucci, who caught a touchdown in the first game from a similar spot on the field around the 20-yard line. He wasn't open. He then moved on to his next receiver, and Nelson was there for the completion. Very good quarterbacking by Jake Collins.
Collins in that pistol set will take the snap. They bring a rush, throws it to the right side, and he'll throw it into the ground. As coming hard on the play from the blind side was Kenny White. White picked off a ball last week. We've seen him already this week make a great play on special teams, returning a blocked punt for a touchdown, made a nice tackle on special teams. He's done some really good things on the defensive side. Good to see him back in the ball game as well. Remember, he was shaken up a little bit earlier as well.
Kenny White, related to Whitney White, only a sophomore. Certainly bright things ahead for this West Allegheny team.
Seems like we say that year after year.
Yep.
Maybe even better things ahead for West A, and they just keep reloading and keep playing great football. Here's a play to the near sideline. Inside the 10 is Pisano, and he'll get down to about the 5. Nice pickup of 7 yards. Quick hitter there for Pisano.
Pisano, the quicker back there, able to get to the edge in an instant and get north and south.
Yeah, you have Pochi, who's kind of the bruiser, Pisano, who's the quick guy, and then Olsen, who's sort of in the middle, kind of a pass catcher, a guy that can dump off.
We've seen him go out into the flat and in motion a number of times earlier in this game as well.
And they have a freshman that they're really excited about here at Char Valley. Probably won't see him very much against West Allegheny tonight, but Connor Barrett, a 6-foot, 171-pound freshman. They're excited about what he could do in the future. Option play. They fake the handoff. Collins going to keep it inside the 5. Still on his feet. Muscles through a man and gets into the end zone. That time it will count. No Rowntree on the field. A 5-yard touchdown run for Jake Collins. And Char Valley is on the board. It's 21-6. Jake Collins, his second touchdown run of the season at 99 yards on the ground last week, starting to make his impact here in this one. Logan Scott is going to attempt the extra point. Collins will hold for him. They're going to rush a man onto the field late here. Will the Colts, as Colin Egger will come off the bench. It looks like there's an injury on the far side of the field, as there is an Indian down. Boy, that's the same spot where the official was injured earlier nearly. Right over there on that far sideline around the 10-15 yard line. That drive, 72 yards, 9 plays at last.
By far the best that we've seen anything out of Chartiers Valley, getting it done a number of ways, having to deal with some penalties in a couple of different moments. And after such a deflating play, getting a touchdown called back to rally around and come together and get a score. And a lot of the personnel, we saw Phil Pisano step up there. We saw Delmar King, a big third down catch to really put Chartiers Valley in position to convert, or pardon me, a second and long catch to convert that third down. So signs of life, and now the defense has had some time to rest, or those players who don't play offense as well, and really gear up against this West A run game that's inevitable on the other side.
Not sure who the man is shaken up on the far sideline, but that obviously far and away not near the play. Not sure maybe if a man was coming towards the sideline and then went down, or what the situation was. That is Jake Cunningham, who is coming off the field, number 12. That'll be a big loss for them. Guy that's had a nice game already for the Indians. Well, to recap so far, the opening drive for Char Valley, a 3-and-out. The punt blocked by Will Weber, returned by Kenny White for a 10-yard touchdown. That made it 7-0. West Allegheny would then force a fumble. Terrence Stevens would go in from 16 yards out to make it 14-0. And then with no time left on the clock in the first quarter, after another blocked punt, Whitney White would dive in from a yard to make it 21-0, but Char Valley answering back with a 9-play, 72-yard drive. That took 3:23 off the clock. It's now 21-6. Boy, another long delay here on that far sideline due to an injury. The first time an official, the second time because of an injury to a player. And looks like they're treating the field potentially, so maybe Cunningham was bleeding perhaps, and there was a decent amount of blood on the field, but it looks like they're over there wiping up the field. I hope Cunningham is okay, and that would not be anything too serious.
In a game like this, though, if you're West Allegheny and you're able to build up a larger lead before halftime, you sort of have that luxury of being able to take your guys who are banged up and not really expose them to any more harm than you have to. And this is a West Allegheny team that is ranked number 2 on our MSA AAA top 10. Certainly a team with weapons all over the field, offensively and defensively. They can handle that sort of loss.
Here comes the kick from Scott. It is up, and it is good. There's no indication from the officials.
I'll take your word for it.
They still have not signaled anything. There was only, remember we lost, they do put it up on the scoreboard, and they're going to huddle up to talk about this here. Remember, we lost an official earlier, so the official that we lost was most likely one of the other officials that goes under the field goal post, and they're going to say that it counts. This has been an odd game so far.
It's been strange. The reason I think it went in is because Bob Palco isn't halfway onto the field contesting the point on the scoreboard. So I'll take your word for it.
Odd stuff. Well, regardless, it's now 21-7. West A still with the lead, but a good drive there from Char Valley. Well, we want to see your game day smiles. On our website, go to the broadcast page for the games that you are at. Select the Add a Photo option in the upper right-hand portion of the screen and browse to the photo you want to upload. Your photo may then appear as one of our spotlight photos on our homepage. Or, new to the MSA Sports Network this year, Instagram. You can check us out on Instagram at MSA Sports and send us your pictures there as well. Line drive kick going to be fielded at the 28-yard line by one of the up men. Crossing over the 35 and getting tackled around the 37 was number 15, Tom Burke, a linebacker and fullback, but decent field position there after the short kickoff. And West Allegheny will set up shop with 8:28 to play here in this first half.
I take it Coach Lobig wants no part of White or Stevens any more than he has to on the offensive side of the ball. Both of them back to return kickoffs for West Allegheny, both of them lethal. So I can't really fault him for the decision to go with the squib kick there.
West A in that big offensive front coming to the line. Again, runners up a year ago at Heinz Field to rival Central Valley. A great, great championship. I think one of the best that we have seen since the championships started to be played at the new home of the Steelers, as Terrence Stevens will take the handoff. Dives over the 40 down to the 41. It's a pickup of 4 on first down. Stevens, the Bowling Green recruit, and you can see it out there, 6 foot 200. You know, where he plays at the next level, we'll see possibly corner, possibly linebacker, possibly on the offensive side of the ball. But he can do a little bit of everything, and he's showing for this West Allegheny team exactly what he can bring. Receivers each way, I-back set. Ross will hand it off to Stevens. Makes a man miss in the backfield. Now he's going to be receiving a host of gray jerseys, and he'll go down around the 45-yard line. Anthony Onamastico got on his back and rode him for a couple of yards down to the 45.
Yeah, you're talking about Stevens being on a different wavelength, that college caliber player. You would expect running backs to be able to handle defensive backs relatively easy. He handles DBs, he handles linebackers, he handles defensive linemen one-on-one with relative ease, making them miss or powering through them. He keeps driving his legs, and he fell forward there for another quality game.
3rd down and 3 coming up. So far, West Allegheny 2 for 2 on 3rd downs. Extra protector on the left side of the line. I-back set as Ross goes under center. Mason, the receiver, on the far side. And a flag will fly. 3 seconds left on the play clock, but some movement along the line. It's going to be a false start. Second penalty on West A, and that's going to push it back to a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, now things get interesting. Nick Ross, not one to pass very often, maybe 1 per half so far into this season.
We were down on the field talking with both Coach Lobig and Coach Palco earlier, and I heard you ask Coach Palco, he said, "You're going to pass in this game?" And what was his response to that?
We'll see.
That's, you know, Coach Palco could get that phrase right there tattooed on his back. We'll see. He does not give away anything when you talk to him about his football team. Delay on the handoff. Now they're going to go with a play fake. Throwing over the middle is Ross. He had a man for a moment in Mason, who was cutting across the middle of the field, but Onamastico there in coverage was on him. The throw was high, and they have forced a punt situation here for the Indians, have the Colts.
Man, Chartiers Valley, they're starting to cook out here. Getting that long touchdown drive, a penalty-aided 3rd down stop, but a 3rd down stop nonetheless. So a little bit of momentum coming back now for the home team. Let's see if they're able to turn this into good field position and have another quality drive.
How about this score from the Parkway Conference? Newcastle up 13-0 on Montour.
Ooh.
So things potentially opening up even better for West Allegheny. If the Spartans were to fall to the Red Hurricane tonight, that would put West A in the top spot for sure. And they're going to run a fake. Coming to the near side is Stout. Stout has some running room. He's going to take a hit, and he is going to be, it appears, about 2 yards short of the first down. Onamastico got over there, as well as a host of gray jerseys. And the fake punt doesn't work. What's up with the punting game tonight? We haven't seen one. We've seen 3 punting formations, And no punts get off so far. 2 blocks and a fake.
Nothing. Well, that sets up Chartiers Valley with its best field position of the day, coming off its best drive of the day. So if there's any time for the Colts to come through, it's right now.
And Stout will pick up about 6 yards on that run. Looked like he was initially thinking about throwing the football. Chartiers Valley takes over at West Allegheny's 47-yard line. And dropping back to throw is Collins down the far sideline. Contact downfield, and there will be a flag. They were looking for Delmar King. And pass interference is going to be the call. They're going to get number 5 on the play, Skylar Mason. I'm going to say that Mason was in the body.
Coach Lobig, Chartiers Valley dialing up a shot there, verticals across the field. I was looking at Eric Atchison, the tight end, one-on-one with a safety, but all the way across, and he liked his matchup. Delmar King against just about anybody, if you're Chartiers Valley, is one that you're going to take if Delmar King is matched up one-on-one. And you have the option of either him making a play or the defensive back having to panic and grab a hold of him, and they'll take the they'll take the yardage in the first down.
You start to feel momentum beginning to shift to the near sideline in the Chartiers Valley Colts. They get the touchdown, they get the big stop on the fake attempt, and now a penalty.
And that was a very aggressive play call on first down, more so than any we've seen so far this game out of Chartiers Valley.
So 15-yard penalty. Collins will fake it, throws over the middle, and looking for Atchison. He got blown up as that ball in and out of his hands, and again, it's that man at the safety position, Kenny White, who lowered the boom.
That's the exact same play we saw going the other way back in the first quarter, faking the give to the back. And then with that quick hitter, he's going to be open. You're going to pick up yardage, but there's going to be a shot doled out and taken in, and Atchison not willing to take the punishment on that one, and I don't blame him, honestly.
2 men left, 1 to the far sideline. Pochi will protect as the sidecar to Collins. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, running room up the middle, breaks through an arm tackler, then dives forward down to about the 26, maybe the 27-yard line. A nice hitter there. Call it a gain of 6 for Collins. It'll bring up a third down and about 4.
And looking at the score, looking at where we are on the field for Chartiers Valley, I'm not sure a long field goal is what Coach Lobig has in mind. We could be in 4-down territory for the Colts.
King lines up in the slot to the left. Look out for him on this play. They've liked going his way so far. Caught 4 balls last week as well. Collins dropping back, looking that way. Has King on the near sideline. Tried to make a diving catch, went through his fingertips and out of bounds. The football sails, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, it was Delmar King, as you said, one-on-one with Kenny White, who's had an excellent game thus far, scoring on special teams and making some plays. And really, Chartiers Valley, a lot of times when Delmar White is isolated one-on-one, they'll take the shot. That ball just not thrown where he could make a play on it. But as we said before, looking at where we are in the field and the score of this game, they're going to keep the offense out here to go for it on this 4th down.
Trips go out to the left side. First time we've seen them throw that receiver formation at West Allegheny. A man to the far side as well, and Antonucci. They drop back, they throw that way, and missed connection there as the ball sails behind Antonucci and away from him. That'll be a turnover on downs.
Big surprise, Kenny White there in on the pressure. Dialing up a safety blitz was West Allegheny, and he was coming right in the grill of Jake Collins, who decided to get rid of it hot. But Antonucci and Collins weren't on the same wavelength, so now back to West Allegheny with a chance to extend this lead.
West A will take over at the 26-yard line. We did see last week 3 different quarterbacks play for West Allegheny. Not sure if they would consider going that way again, though. As long as the game is close, you would think the starter and Ross would stay in. Here's a handoff to Whitney White. White will dive forward to the 30-yard line as he reaches the football out in his left hand, right at the number on the far sideline. It's a gain of 4 on first down. That's the longest run for White so far. He had 3 carries for 3 yards and a touchdown. That one a 4-yard carry there. So now 4 carries for 7 yards and a score for Whitney White. Clock rolls to 4:45 and moving. Again, a heavy set on that line, split eye formation. Ross goes deep under center, takes the snap, hands it off, running room up the middle, lowering the shoulder, down near the sticks. We'll see where the spot is for Whitney White. Another good-looking run there, though, right up the middle. And that's where we've seen West A do a lot of their damage, is just going straight at the heart of the defense and using their physical giant frames on that offensive line, and they are going to have to potentially bring out the chains here to measure.
And you can see the differences in running styles between Stevens and White. White, a good back in and of himself, but Stevens running through guys. White a little bit shifty enough to get the job done. Another nice run there for him. But really, as long as this game remains close, 2 possessions, I expect to see a lot of Terrence Stevens in this game.
Everybody wants to know if this is a first down or if it will be a third down situation. And they're going to say it's just a bit short. So 3rd down and inches upcoming. A gain of 5 for White. Lipford on the far sideline. Eye back set. Sneaking it forward is Ross, and he'll have enough as he keeps it. It'll be a gain of 2 on the play. Indians now 3 of 4 on 3rd downs. First official carry of the football for Nick Ross. Ross played in 2 games last year. He was 4 of 4 passing for 83 yards. Played against Ambridge and Blackhawk a year ago. Also a talented baseball player as well. Combined to throw a no-hitter with a couple of his West A teammates this past season. Here's a handoff to White. He has a ton of running room. Look at that hole for Whitney White, and he is going to take it to the house. Touchdown, West Allegheny. What a run off the right side. A huge hole opened up, and White takes it all the way, 62 yards for the score. What a seam that White got on that right side, and nobody even put a hand on him. And the speed to pull away as well.
And that's one area of concern coming into this game for Char Valley, giving up 2 long touchdowns last week against Hopewell. If the first guy there can't get him, or in this scenario when there isn't even a first guy, they can't catch him. Now 3 possessions, not looking good for the Colts.
And Colby Stout, extra point up and good. Keep it right here on the MSA Sports Network. Well, MSA Sports has you covered this fall on the court and on the pitch. Tune in for our hometown soccer broadcast featuring Upper St. Clair, Penn Trafford, Franklin Regional, Fox Chapel, Seneca Valley as well. We also have our hometown girls volleyball broadcast featuring West Allegheny, Central Valley, Freeport, Brentwood, Bishop Canevin, Avonworth, Southside Beaver, and Chartiers Houston. Hometown soccer and girls volleyball broadcasts are only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Just when you think Char Valley is coming back into this game, getting the fake punt stop, going down towards the red zone and failing on that 4th down, the big playability from this West Allegheny offense really breaks this game open. Last year, a 35-14 score at the half. This year, following a much similar narrative. A very similar narrative, pardon me.
5-play drive. And it will go 74 yards, takes 1:50 off the clock. And again, Whitney White, 62 yards for the touchdown. Hand in the air for Stout. Runs up, kicks it off, fielded at the 11. On the far sideline with the football is Alzen. Alzen crosses the 30, gets up to the 36 before he's taken off his feet by number 16, Kenny White, yet again.
36-yard line, and the Colts will take over. 1st and 10.
So can Char Valley get another good drive going potentially here? 3:26 to go, still a lot of time. A chance maybe to cut the deficit to just 14 at the break. You're feeling a little bit better than going in down 21.
We've seen them move the football somewhat consistently here in the second half. The big touchdown drive spanning 71 yards and then getting in to the 26-yard line of West Allegheny. Really a much better adjustment coming off that first quarter with the punts and the fumble.
Collins will take the snap, hands it off to his sidecar. That is Dominic Poche. Poche up to the 39, a pickup of 3 on first down. We mentioned what Chartiers Valley did on the basketball court last year, beating North Allegheny. They lost, did Char Valley, in the baseball semifinals to West Allegheny. Crossover between players on both sides, and West Allegheny going to the championship game where they would lose to the Knock Knights. Both of these schools, a pretty rich sports history, both with terrific facilities as well. Host a lot of postseason events as Collins takes one to the far sideline and gets crushed out of bounds. Boy, Terrence Stevens got over from the corner position and just laid out Collins on that far sideline.
Anthony Delavade on the stop.
Anthony Delavade, the man over there as well with Stevens.
3rd down and 7.
No gain officially on that play. It's now a long 3rd and 7 comes up for the Colts. King in the slot on the near side. Nelson over there as well. Collins drops back. He's looking that way. Throws it over the middle. Nearly intercepted by Delavade. Then nearly caught as it went through Delavade's hands. And King right there as well. Couldn't control it. Pass falls to the turf. Incomplete. And a 3-and-out. You see Delavade flashing there. His older brother, a tremendous player for this West Allegheny team, now playing at Youngstown State, a linebacker there. Armand Delavade made 136 tackles in 13 games last season for the Indians, led them in tackles. Very talented offensive player at times as well over the last few years. And it looks like Neil Lobig is going to burn a timeout with 2:32 to go before Char Valley punts this football away.
Coming up at the half, it's the MSA Sports Halftime Show. This week, Don Rebel and Mike White look at the players to watch around the WPIAL in 2015.
Look, you're new.
Yeah?
If you're going to say it, you're going to say it right. What are they talking about at halftime? It's not the players.
The players.
The players. There you go.
The players to watch in the WPIAL in 2015 during this timeout.
I loved your face right there because you looked serious for a second. You thought that I was being serious, and you were like, "Oh boy, he's about to tear into me for doing something." And yeah, it's the players.
The players.
You'll get it. What are you going to say? I'm sorry, I just interrupted you.
This timeout, I'm sure it's about punt protection. It's about blocking that man, Will Weber, who's blocked 2 punts already today. Hopefully someone puts a body on him or somewhat near him so we can get a punt off if you're Char Valley.
I imagine that's probably what the timeout was for in particular, was just to say, let's not get this punt blocked. We cannot afford that at this point. Weber's over there. He's teeing this one up again. Here it is, a quick punt. They're going to get it away. It's going to take a hop at the 32-yard line. King lets it roll as Lipford was back there in the return sequence, and it will fall harmlessly down. So Will Weber silenced on that one.
Yeah, in his quest to block 3 kicks this evening. Man.
There's still a whole half of football left.
There is still a whole half of football left. But if West Allegheny can do what they've been doing all day, they can chew up the rest of this clock or score on a long touchdown run, which Whitney White and Taylor Stevens shown they both have a propensity to do maybe once or twice a game, as we've seen last week and then this week with Whitney White, a long 62-yard touchdown run.
Some pretty amazing numbers we will get to during the course of this game, maybe after this play, in fact, here, on those two guys in their high school careers. Ross, eye back set, fakes the handoff. He's going to look deep to throw. Has Lipford downfield. It is going to be incomplete, but a flag will fly. Back in coverage was Nelson, and it did look like, at least from our vantage point, Nelson got a hand up maybe into the chest of the intended receiver, and Brandon Lipford, who has not pulled in a pass yet this year, but nearly did right there.
Lipford, a long touchdown catch last season against Chartiers Valley. Taking a shot again this season. I like the decision to go play action in this obvious running situation at the end of the half. But really, you were right. The defensive back, Jared Nelson, never really got his hand around and was more concerned with going after the receiver than making a play on the football there. Can't really argue with the defensive or pass interference call on that one.
Fourth penalty for 40 yards now on Chartiers Valley. That'll bring up a fresh set of downs. Nick Ross. The man under center. Eye back set, receiver each way. Four hands in the ground on the defensive front for Chartiers Valley. Delay handoff, and here's Stevens. He's going to have enough for the first down over the 45, over the 50. Still on his feet. Finally will be dumped past the 45 as C.J. Saluga had to step up and make a tackle. But a nice gainer there. Call it 17 on the play and a first down for Stevens.
It takes just one pass play for the defense of Chartiers Valley to completely abandon their run responsibilities and attack the quarterback on that one. A delayed handoff, definitely the right call there. The defensive line wasn't ready for it whatsoever.
Again, extra man on the line. Two receivers, though, to the right side. Again, the eye set, handoff. Stevens comes near side. He'll be wrapped up and slung around and to the turf by Dante Panucci, the defensive end. That's going to be 3 yards for Stevens on the play. Mentioned the numbers that they have put up, both Stevens and White, as a timeout is taken here, and we'll keep it right here on the MSA Sports Network. 1:40 to play here in the first half. These two, both Stevens and White, in their careers, Stevens 191 carries, 1,498 yards, and 18 touchdowns, not including what's already occurred here tonight. He's now over 1,500 yards for his career. Whitney White, on the other hand, 122 carries, 1,089 yards, and 16 touchdowns. Those two have combined 313 carries, 2,587 yards, 34 touchdowns. In their careers against Chartiers Valley, 24 carries, 267, and 4 touchdowns. But here's what's amazing about all these numbers, Andy. They have done this until this season as second, third, and fourth string running backs, backing up some pretty darn good running backs throughout the years. Guys by the name of Chase Dillon, guys by the name of Armand Delavade, Torrey Delmonico, Nick Halbittle. Those are some players that made some really, really big impacts for West Allegheny, and they have put up those numbers, those big numbers, while being deep on the depth chart.
Yeah, Terrence Stevens, 14 touchdowns last year, 7 coming in the WPIAL playoffs. When your backup or second string guy is doing that, things are going well.
Dropping back, looking to throw is Ross, going to throw a screen into the flat. It's dropped by Stevens. Right behind him was a man covering, and Daniel Magoo, and he nearly was able to catch that football for an interception.
Great awareness by the defensive line for Chartiers Valley. That was a screen pass from the very beginning, and 2 or 3 linemen were in pursuit of Stevens. If that ball was put in front of Stevens, he might have been able to catch it and run away from everyone, but instead behind him, not able to get around on it. But very smart play defensively from this defensive line from Chartiers Valley.
TJ now up 17-0 over Bell Vernon. That big AAA football game. Home opener for TJ tonight. 4 receivers on the field for the first time in a decade for West Allegheny. Throwing to the near side, and that is going to be pulled in at the 30 by Mason. Skylar Mason made the catch. A pickup of 10 on the play and another West Allegheny first down.
Nick Ross finally getting a chance to cut loose a little bit in a formation in which it's like, okay, guys, we're passing. Would you believe it? And really, a 2-minute drill, a chance for the junior to show his stuff after just having 2 pass attempts all of week 1.
Sidecar to the left of Ross is Stevens, and he is going to give it to him. Stevens coming to the near side, stiff arm on a man, to the 25, to the 20, still on his feet, he burns down the sideline and in for a touchdown. Boy, a defensive breakdown by Chartiers Valley, 31 yards it goes for the touchdown. Terrence Stevens extends the Indians' lead to 34-7.
Oh my Lord! Did you see that juke move around the 15-yard line? Wow. He had 3 defenders around him, took a step to the left, and then just busted it up the sideline and froze all of them. That is why he is a recruit for Bowling Green and one of the better players you're going to see in the Parkway Conference this season.
All right, so Stout will line up to attempt the point after. It is up. And again, it is down the middle and good. Still, we're working with just one official here tonight, so that kick good. 1:12 to play here in the first half. West Allegheny rolling 35-7 over Chartiers Valley on the road. Indians looking good so far. Well, MSA Sports is proud to be working with Project Irreplaceable. Project Irreplaceable is a community service initiative to raise awareness of the value of early detection of breast cancer. The campaign asks students to let the important women in their lives know how irreplaceable they are, reminding their moms, grandmas, friends, and other females in their lives that they should take a few minutes to do a self-exam. To learn more about this important life-changing initiative, click the Project Irreplaceable graphic on our website or go to projectirreplaceable.com for more information. So a 31-yard run by Terrence Stevens. West Allegheny cruising. Tell you what, you look at Colby Stout, who has kicked the extra points, 5 for 5, and he is the backup kicker. DJ Obstatnik injured. Not bad to have a second guy that can kick. Some teams don't even have one guy. Here's a ball fielded at the 10-yard line by Alzen. Alzen wrapped up and thrown to the turf. Great open field tackle made by who else? Will Weber. That guy has been everywhere. 2 blocked punts and does it again right there.
This special teams unit is something else. Kenny White, one of them. Will Weber, the other one, coming through and making some big plays for this unit today. Blocking punts, coming down on the kick coverage. Really, all 3 facets of the game, West Allegheny is just taking care of business, which is why they're your number 2 team in the MSA AAA Top 10 this week.
Only 107 went off the clock on that drive. Chartiers Valley 108 on the clock. They will take over at the 21-yard line. There's a throw downfield. It's intercepted. Skylar Mason picks it off at the 38-yard line. Mason still on his feet inside the 20, inside the 15 to the 10. It'll be thrown down at the 5-yard line by Dante Panucci. A big return there on a pass that was airmailed from Collins, and West A is in business again.
6-yard line.
Not a good throw there. Triple coverage. And that ball just sailed on Collins.
Collins looking for his man, Antonucci, sort of forcing that one downfield. That's something we haven't really seen today from him. He's been relatively patient, but looking at the score and situation, really taking a shot down the field with Chartiers Valley. And yes, that one got away from him, definitely over the head of Antonucci. And Skylar Mason, right place, right time, and a very good return. This could be another score for West Allegheny.
I-back set, a tight end to the right side, and Max Clements. Handoff. It's going to go not for much as Whitney White will be stopped up for a gain How about one or two quickly to go back to the line? Do the Indians. They're going to give it to White again. White bullying his way forward. He'll get down to about the 1.5. 30 seconds to play. Clock's still rolling. And that's going to force Bob Palco to burn another timeout. That is his second used timeout.
So it's 3rd and 2.
Third and goal coming up at the 2-yard line as the Indians take a timeout. A chance for them here to go up potentially 42-7 at the break. We are glad to welcome back the ProGrass Athlete of the Month this school year during turf sport seasons. ProGrass will once again be recognizing a monthly Athlete of the Week this fall in each of the following sports: football, boys soccer, and girls soccer. Look for more details on this soon on our website at msasports.net. If you have a suggestion for who should be considered for this month's ballot, let us know at info@msasports.net. All right, so West A facing a 3rd and goal from the 2, 28.7 exactly to go on the clock as they head towards the high school down to our right. It will be Terrence Stevens in the split eye as Ross is under center. He's going to pitch it to Stevens. Stevens turns it up and he will walk it right into the end zone for a touchdown. It's 41-7 West Allegheny. Terrence Stevens again, his 3rd touchdown of the ball game.
Terrence Stevens not having to do too much on that play. His big offensive line, we've got 1,400 pounds up front just about, really paving the way, and that's another time we've seen a lateral or a pitch go to Stevens and he gets his foot in the ground and gets north and south almost immediately there off the left tackle. When you have those guys up front, it can be really easy in those short yarded situations.
2 plays, 6 yards it goes. 31 seconds taken off the clock. The extra point up and good. Boy, what a first half by West Allegheny, just rolling.
And this game has turned more into what we would think of a football game without all the blocked punts and the injuries early on in this game. But in the second quarter, West Allegheny really imposing their will, especially after Chartiers Valley getting a little bit of momentum back, scoring at that 8:32 mark of the second quarter to bring the game back to 21-7, stopping West Allegheny to get the football back, down just 2 scores midway through the second quarter, but then failing on 4th down deep into West Allegheny territory. And from there, you can only have so many errors against this West Allegheny team.
14 carries for Terrence Stevens to this point. 3 of the 14 have hit pay dirt. Stout will kick off the football. We'll see if Char Valley even thinks about doing anything with it here. I would imagine they probably learned their lesson the last time out, throwing a deep ball that was picked off. Yeah, Colts were hoping in this ball game, and again, we talked about on the onset, winning the football game, I don't know if that was going to happen, but boy, you had to have a better performance if you want to start to build this program. If you're Neil Lobig, and he has just not gotten a great performance from his team really in all facets of the game in the first half. Low kickoff, jumped on at the 42-yard line with 23 seconds to go. The Colts will take over. It's still another half of football coming up. Unless Char Valley scores, we will start with a running clock via the PIAA mercy rule in the second half. 35 points is that rule. Snap to Collins. They are looking like they're going to try to get some points here. He drops back looking to throw. Now he's going to step up and run the football. And he will lower the shoulder and take on a defender as Carmen Cornell hit him at the 50. It's a gain of 8 on the play for Collins, and that will take us to the end of the first half. All West Allegheny, though, through this first half of football here at Chartiers Valley tonight. The guys in white joyous as they head towards their locker room, and on the other side, the guys in gray not so happy with their performance through these first 24 minutes. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll have the scoring drive. Then we'll send you out to the halftime show to join Don Rebel and Mike White, who will be taking a look at the players.
The players.
There it is. The players from around the WPIAL in 2015. We'll be back after this short break. Halftime here at Chartiers Valley. The score, West Allegheny 42, Chartiers Valley 7. You're listening to the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
Sports Network is more than just high school football this fall. Log on to MSASports.net for coverage of all other scholastic fall sports with schedules, results, and rankings of boys and girls soccer. We'll also have results and postseason coverage of girls tennis, boys and girls golf, and cross country. Plus results and rankings along with weekly matches involving the MSA Sports Hometown Girls Volleyball program. The best coverage of all WPIAL fall sports is only here on the MSA Sports Network.
All right, back here at the half, West Allegheny 42, Char Valley with 7 points. As we hit halftime, the West A band out on the field, ready to perform here at the half. Alongside
Andy Stanko.
Andy Stanko. I almost called you Andy Stanky again. I did that before we went on the air.
Not a problem. I've been called worse.
It's your first broadcast. It's 42-7.
Hey, it's been a relatively fun 42-7. Engaging.
You know, we're always looking for guys that can find the humor in everything. I'm glad that you can find the entertainment in a 42-7 ball game.
Oh, yeah.
That's always good. That's always a good thing because you'll see a few of them in your time here. There's no doubt. But Andy is going to take us through the scoring summary from that first half, and it's decidedly in favor of one team, and that's the West Allegheny Indians.
Yeah, West Allegheny didn't waste too much time, especially after electing to defer to the second half. Chartiers Valley got the ball, went 3 and out, went backwards, and then the punt was blocked by Will Weber and taken for Kenny White for a touchdown. So there's your 7-0 score less than 2 minutes into this game. Coming back then, the next 2 drives for West Allegheny, 16-yard touchdown run capped by Terrence Stevens. Whitney White, a 1-yard touchdown run set up by, again, a Will Weber punt block. That means 21-0 your score after one half of football. The one quarter of football, pardon me, we're not done yet. The second quarter, we saw a little bit of a comeback by Chartiers Valley, a nice 72-yard touchdown drive capped by a 3-yard run by quarterback Jake Collins, 21-7. But then really West Allegheny pouring it on towards the end of the second half. 3 scores within the final 5:21, a 62-yard touchdown run from Whitney White, a touchdown run from Terrence Stevens with a little shake and bake along that right sideline, and then finally a 2-yard run by Terrence Stevens, set up by a Skylar Mason interception. For those of you counting at home, that's 42-7 the score in favor of West Allegheny. And of any team right now in the MSA AAA Top 10, the Indians are certainly looking like a Top 10 team, despite losing the top passer, top rusher, top receiving threat from last year's team that made it to the title game.
You mentioned the top receiving threat. Not only did they lose their top threat, they lost their top 5 receivers from last year.
Their third, their fourth, their fifth.
The 5 guys that were highlighted by Coach Palco that we would see at receiver tonight, I went back to last year's stats. Those 5 guys had 4 catches combined all of last year. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they put on the outside. The guys, it seems like on the outside, are just for distraction. They're just there for novelty because the heart of this West Allegheny team relies on Derek Klontz, 6'4", 300 pounds. Keeman Furman, 6'4", 275. Justin Baker, 6'2", 295. Sam Hammer, 6'3", 230. And Nick Lanero, 6'3", 285. That is an offensive line that looks like a small college offensive line. Those are some big boys across that front 5. And you throw the tight ends in there, you throw the fullbacks in there blocking. Boy, and you add guys like Stevens and White who are shifty, can run between the tackles, can break tackles, physical, hard runners. It makes West Allegheny very, very difficult to stop when you're on defense.
Yeah, Nick Ross's job as the quarterback is very, very easy for the vast majority of the half. We saw him cut it loose a little bit at the end, when West Allegheny had to march down the field in their 2-minute situation, but it's quite a simple formula. We've seen a lot of tight formations, maybe no receivers on the field at all, 2 fullbacks, a fullback and 2 tight ends, 2 tight ends, just so many different formations, but with that heavy personnel. And when I mean heavy, I mean 1,400 pounds of man up front, plus your tight end, plus your fullback. And it's really challenging for a Chartiers Valley defense that gave up almost 40 points per game just a season ago, and they gave up the big plays last week in their game against Hopewell, and we saw it in the 62-yard touchdown run. Arm tackling isn't a problem when no one's getting there to even try to make the tackle, and that was the case in that long touchdown.
You want to hear about some players?
Sure.
Let's do it. Halftime here at Chartiers Valley, 42-7 is the score. Don Rebel and Mike White of the Post-Gazette are going to take a look at the top players to watch around the WPIAL in 2015. We'll send it off to them again here at the half. West Day up by 35 points. It's the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week right here on the MSA Sports Network. Don and Mike, gentlemen, take it away.
Week 2 of the halftime show on the MSA Sports Network. I'm Don Rebel. My partner, Mike White of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, loves Week 2 because every year, Week 2, we feature
the players. The players. Yes, one of my favorite, the PLAYAZ, the players. The players, by the way, Don Rebel, is a real club. It's an AU basketball club.
Really?
In New Jersey and New England. And they produce a lot of big-time kids going to play college here, but we're not talking about AAU.
How would they have done in the old Ozanam?
Over up on Wiley Avenue? I don't know. I would say now we're going to move from AAU to 3 other letters, MSA players. The players to watch. Now, after the break, we're going to do the best, the cream of the crop in WPIAL, the whole WPIAL, the senior class. But, Don, you're going to talk about the players in WPIAL. You got to talk about the junior class. Why? Because it is really loaded at the top end. Maybe not 40 Division I guys, but the top end, listen to this, Mr. Rebel. There are 6 4-star rated players in Rivals.com in the junior class in WPIAL. Paris Ford of Seton LaSalle, Lamont Wade of Clairton. Paris Ford is a receiver, defensive back. Wade probably be a defensive back but he's also running back. Donovan Jeter, a lineman from Beaver Falls. C.J. Thorpe, a big lineman from Central Catholic. David Adams, a linebacker from Central Catholic. By the way, Wade's a 5-star. And Josh Lugg from North Allegheny, who I think is one of the most interesting stories in this junior class. He's a 4-star rated player coming into the year. He's yet to start a football game on the varsity for North Allegheny. That's true.
Wow.
He's already committed to Notre Dame. Why?
He's not just another big lug.
No, he's not. Why?
Why?
He's 6'7", 280.
Can't teach that.
Correct, Mr. Rebel. Now, those are some of the best juniors, but also in the junior class, you got to take a look at players like, they're not going to be 4-star prospects, but Dwayne Murray, Steel Valley, has close to 3,000 yards in 2 years. You look at Gabe Hoy, also from Upper St. Clair. They have a lineman committed to Pitt. He's already going to offer from Pitt. He's 6'6". Even in the City League, Kenny Robinson from University Prep, USO, has Division I offers. So the junior class is very good. We'll be back after the break, talk about the Western Pennsylvania senior class.
When the halftime show continues on the MSA Sports Network. When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, First in Turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, First in Turf.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything, right? I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
The history books are filled with the names of great athletes and great teams from Western Pennsylvania. They share stories of great victories and stunning defeats, but they all have one thing in common. They know the championship season is the time to be first. First Commonwealth Bank, proud sponsor of the WPIAL and the best high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. First Commonwealth, time to be first.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, First in Turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, First in Turf. All right, the halftime show continues here in week 2. We're talking about the players. Mike White, you now want to talk about the cream of the crop.
The best in Western Pennsylvania, the WPIAL and the City League. Don, you get asked very often, I think every year, hey, what's the talent level like this year in Western Pennsylvania? What's the class of seniors? How good is it? Well, it's been on a little bit of a downtrend, to be honest. I mean, you look at 3 years ago, we only had 18 kids signed with Division I-A colleges, the lowest ever. And then it went up the year after that. Last year was in the low to mid 20s. This year, I'm going to say it's going to be back up maybe 25, 28 or so, around there. I think it's a decent year. I don't think it's a great year, but I think it's a decent year. There are two players a lot of people talk about who have not made a Division I or have not made a commitment anywhere yet, but they are DeMar Hamlin, defensive back from Central Catholic, and Kalik Hudson, running back, defensive back from McKeesport. DeMar Hamlin could be the most highly recruited player in Central. Terry Taunton says maybe ever. I think it's going to come down to Pitt, Penn State, Ohio State. He's very highly rated as a defensive back. Kalik Hudson, if you saw his highlights anywhere on the internet first week of the year, the guy is a monster. I think it's going to come down to Pitt, Penn State, West Virginia. I say he ends up on defense. He says he would like to eventually play both ways in college. Wow. Those are two of the best that haven't decided. Who are some of the other best in the senior class? Well, Miles Sanders, ranked one of the best running backs in the country. He's already committed to Penn State from Woodland Hills. Great running back combination with him and Joel Shaw. He's got some Division I offers also. Aaron Matthews, wide receiver from Clairton, playing quarterback this year for Clairton. Kazon Pugh from Aliquippa, linebacker, running back. I think he'll end up on defense. Pitt, West Virginia, I think is going to come down to for him. Pitt has 4 recruits from Western Pennsylvania. Rashad Wheeler from Central, Bryson Garner from Central, Brandon Ford from Upper St. Clair, an offensive lineman, and Taryn Coleman, a defensive back from Bashir. Yes, a big-time prospect in the City League. WVU has 2 recruits, Don. Jake Bushagrossi, an offensive lineman from North Hills. Last offensive lineman from North Hills who went to West Virginia was Rob Shalhouse in 1980, a classmate of mine. Just a little factoid. Yeah. He runs a funeral home now. He's the last guy to let you down. And then Logan Tymans from Freeport also committed to West Virginia. You like that one? Other good ones, senior class, Tymar Sutton, McKeesport linebacker, Illinois, West Virginia, other offers. Matt Hampson, offensive lineman from Pine Richland. Hunter Hayes, a 1AA guy from South Fayette. Billy Kisner, quarterback from Penn Hills, committed to Toledo, will play receiver or defensive back. And Aiden Howard, receiver from Gateway, committed to Virginia.
Have you exhausted all the players?
I think I have. And I know I missed someone, and I'll hear it.
And you are exhausted. All right. Thank you, Michael. Enjoy the second half of the game you're listening to here on the MSA Sports Network.
Make sure to follow the MSA Sports Network on social media this season for breaking news, scores, links to our articles, and much more. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/MSA Sports and get in on the conversation with thousands of local sports fans. Follow us on Twitter at MSA Sports and check out our YouTube channel, MSA Sports WPIAL, for hundreds of video interviews with local student athletes, game highlights, and more. Whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or our websites, MSA Sports is the place to go for high school sports in Western Pennsylvania.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
When Dollar Bank was founded in 1855, it was on the idea that banking should be available to everyone. 160 years later, Dollar Bank is still helping everyday people get everything they deserve. Without shareholders, Dollar Bank is able to think differently, like new Everything Checking. You get everything you want in a checking account with no monthly service fee just by doing the things you do every day. And Everything Checking is not just available to high-balance customers. Everyone can get it. Everything Checking includes interest, 55,000 free ATMs, and now everyone can celebrate Dollar Bank's 160th anniversary by earning 1.60% APY up to $20,000 all year long with Everything Savings. Are you getting everything you deserve? Ask for new Everything Checking only from Dollar Bank. Call 1-800-242-BANK, stop by, or visit dollarbank.com for details. Dollar Bank, mutually inspired. Rate and service fee waiver require. Everything Checking with 6 qualifying monthly payments. 0.25% annual percentage yield over $20,000. Subject to change without notice. Dollar Bank. Member FDIC.
Welcome back here on the MSA Sports Network. Halftime at Chartiers Valley High School. About 4.5 minutes to go to the start of the second half, and it is all West Allegheny. 42-7 is the halftime mark. The Indians in control here in Bridgeville tonight alongside Andy Stanko. I'm Josh Rowntree here at the home of the Colts. Let's take a look at some scores from around the WPIAL. We'll start in the AAA Parkway Conference where we are here tonight. Ambridge 13-7, they lead Hopewell. Central Valley last score we got, they are just blowing out Blackhawk 34-6. Montour in a dogfight against Newcastle, 20-13 is the score of that football game. Newcastle jumped out to an early 13-0 lead, but Montour, the Spartans, and head coach Lucero, they have responded nicely, putting up 20 straight unanswered. And Moon in a non-conference game going against a Quad A team in Mount Lebanon, they trail 28-7. Right now. Other big games throughout the WPIAL tonight. In Quad A, Pine Richland, the number 7 team in the MSA Sports standings. North Allegheny, number 4. Right now, number 7 is up 21-7. Pine Richland with a 14-point lead over the Tigers. Elsewhere in Quad A, Woodland Hills 28, Bethel Park 17 at halftime. And the Plum Mustangs looking for an even better year than the one they had a year ago after many, many years at the bottom of the standings. Right now, Plum up 10-7 over North Hills. That is number 10 versus number 9. In AAA elsewhere, number 5 against number 7. TJ against Bell Vernon. Thomas Jefferson 17, Bell Vernon 7, the score of that ball game. Mars, they right now lead Armstrong 24-20. A good start from Armstrong. Mars bouncing back in a big way. In AA, one of the biggest games of the night, Apollo Ridge and Highlands. Number 6 Highlands, they trail Apollo Ridge 28-14. And then in single A, not a lot of big games. One tomorrow between the Shannock and Shenango, but Greensburg Central Catholic and Beth Center, a battle of top 10 teams. Well, right now it doesn't look like it, as GCC leads Beth Center 34-7. Could be another down and tough year for the Tri-County South. If Beth Center is the best that they have to show, it could be another offer come playoff time for the Tri-County South. That's a look at the scoreboard around the WPIAL. You can check out the scores either on the mobile site or on the website mobile site, m.scores.msasports.net, or just msasports.net/scores. We'll also have updates throughout the night on our Twitter account at MSA Sports as well.
And to quickly touch on some of those Parkway, the AAA scores, you look at the projection of this Parkway contest by us at MSA. Montour number 1. Montour in a dogfight with Newcastle. Newcastle, a team that West Allegheny handled with relative ease, especially in the second half of that game. And you're looking at some of these teams, the blemishes or the losses they've suffered. Central Valley without Jordan Whitehead. Montour without their quarterback this season, torn ACL. Perhaps the team with the least amount of baggage coming into the season in terms of really being held down or held back because of guys graduating and not having that depth behind them. We're seeing guys here come out from West Allegheny, and while, yes, Stevens and White have been backups in the past, they've racked up a ton of yards, a ton of scores, and they're doing it again now as starters for this team.
Yeah, no question about it. Watching for a moment there, the band from Chartiers Valley, boy, they're really into the band here at Chartiers Valley. Everyone on their feet applauding, everyone watching. Great performance by both bands here at halftime. Fun stuff to watch. You hit it on the head, though, as far as being able to get guys into football games, the depth that they have. And we see this so often where these teams that are the elite, and I'm talking about your Claretons, I'm talking about your West Alleghenies, your Central Valleys, your South Fayettes, Central Catholics, the teams that are, I would consider, the elite of the WPIAL. They are good year after year, and they don't technically lose a lot to graduation because they get these big leads. They get these big leads in the first half, and now in the second half, you're going to see guys that would otherwise be probably playing JV football or just sitting on the bench, getting snaps against varsity opponents in a varsity game on a Friday night. That goes a long way to building a program when you can get to the point where guys can play the second half of a game for pretty much an entire year in a lot of situations. And they're getting that experience early. It is a gigantic help to a program, and Bob Palco has done it for a long time, 21 years now here at West Allegheny, 7 WPIAL championships. This is a guy that's averaging a championship every 3 years, and we talked about it earlier, what I think Bob Palco could mean at the end of the day. A few years ago, there was a Mount Rushmore of high school coaches. 20 years from now, Bob Palco will be at the front, I think, of that. I think what he has done at West Allegheny, not only the success that they've had on the field, but the fact that they have done it, I think, even more so as a public school nowadays, to have the success year after year after year at such a high level in the state and in the district. I think Bob Palco, you can't say enough about the coaching job that he's done here at West Ag.
Not just the fact that it's a public school, but the conference in which he plays in, the Parkway Conference. You look at the championship games, 10 of the last 12 teams who have played in the championship game are from the Parkway. So you have 6 champions, 4 runners-up, and it's all coming from one group of teams. It's not one team just running through the conference year after year after year. Montour, West Allegheny, Central Valley, these teams are consistently up there battling the Thomas Jeffersons of the world in the postseason, and these teams are just powerhouses. You look at last season, the trio of Central Valley, West Allegheny, Thomas Jefferson, 37-4. At least 3 of those losses coming against each other.
Right.
These are programs, and you mentioned it. The progression process for these players getting time in second half of games, it's accelerated because they have that experience, game speed, game situations. Granted, they have the cushion, but they're out there and they're getting those reps that not necessarily you'll get at other schools until you're a junior or a senior.
Yeah, no question about it. And head-to-head, as we talked about earlier, these two teams have just been going in separate directions, and unfortunately it's going to continue, it appears, this season. West Allegheny, they have outscored this Chartiers Valley team 159-14 in their last 3 meetings, and as you can see here today, that's going to be even extended further in this one. But that said, the conversations that I had with Neil Lobig this week, that we had with him down on the field, seems like a guy that's going to get things turned around here at Char Valley. They've had some success before. A few years back, they were making the quarterfinal runs, 05, 07 in the quarterfinals. They had a playoff streak broken in 2010 when they went 4-6. Since then, they've only been in the playoffs once. That was a first-round loss to Montour in 2011, and 3 straight years without the playoffs in a row. And it's tough. They got, they were 5-5, then they got moved to the Parkway Conference. No favors done there. You get thrown into the toughest conference potentially in the state, and it's been really, really tough for them since injuries have been a factor. A coaching change with Coach Saluga leaving, and now Coach Lobig taking over. But I think the work that Neil Lobig can do with quarterbacks and developing offenses, it's shown, it's flashed at times for Char Valley. I think as the year progresses and as the next couple of years progress, as he gets years 3, 4, 5 under his belt, you're really going to see Chartiers Valley, I think, start to make a little bit more noise on the AAA scene.
And it's really unfortunate for some of these guys, especially the senior class, being partway through this transition from one coach to Coach Lobig, who's really sort of a quarterback guru. Jake Collins, the quarterback, won't be here next year, so they're going to have to start from scratch with somebody else.
Right.
A number of other contributors defensively, on the offensive line, skill positions, receivers, they're going to have to start over, which is really unfortunate. After Lobig's first year, they lost 20 seniors. and you, unlike the West Allegheny.
Welcome to the Parkway Conference.
Exactly.
Sorry you don't have 20 seniors. It's a tough blow. Char Valley, they deferred, if you recall, in the first half. So the news gets worse for them. They're going to have to kick off here to start half number 2. And doing so will be number 33, Anthony Anamastico. Puts the hand up. Men up near the 15-yard line. Stevens and White ready for the return. It hops and will be taken in by Burke at the 15. Burke running forward. He'll get down to about the 40. So great field position yet again for the Indians.
From Burke carries that kickoff out to the 40-yard line, and it's 1st and 10 for the Indians.
But as we were talking about, Coach Lobig, a good football mind. You said a good quarterback mind, a quarterback guru, played quarterback at South Fayette High School, kind of grew up in this area, the Bridgeville, Heidelberg area, went to South Fayette, was a great quarterback there, threw for over 5,000 yards in his career there. Then time at Duquesne, was his assistant coach at Duquesne for a number of years as well before taking a job down in Florida and coming back here to the WPIAL a couple of years ago. So we get started here for half number 2, and the first play will go up the middle to Terrence Stevens. Stevens is going to duck down for about 4 yards on the play. Stevens in that first half, 14 carries, 111 yards and 3 touchdowns. Whitney White, 8 carries for 67 yards and 2 scores. Through the air, Nick Ross, 2 of 4 for 26. They had 212 yards of total offense, including 186 on the ground, did the Indians in that first half of play. Another big thing, too, 3 of 4 on third down. Char Valley 1 of 5. So third down's a pretty important factor week after week. Yet again, here in this one, it has certainly been important. Ross under center, split eye as he sends Mason in motion towards the formation, and flags will fly. A broken play, and boy, I'm not sure what was happening there, but Nick Ross is going to be dropped for a big loss in the backfield. And Daniel Magoo got him and threw him down to the turf. A flag flew, and it almost looked as if Ross thought that the play was going to be whistled dead, and then they realized that it wasn't being whistled dead, and he paid the price for it. Illegal shift is the call.
We haven't seen anything like that with 2 guys moving from this West Allegheny offense whatsoever in the first half. I'm not sure why they're changing their formula when it worked so well in the first half. Now they're in a 2nd and long situation, which could lead to a 3rd and long situation, which they really haven't had to operate at all during tonight's game.
So an I-back set, receiver each way. Again, Ross still in the game. They are going to play their starters. And Ross is going to look to throw. He's going to air it out downfield, and it is going to be short. Delmar King in coverage as they were looking for Brandon Lipford down the seam. But right there with it was number 6 in Delmar King. And King now grabbing the hamstring. Well, you hope it's only a cramp maybe, but he's going to go down. They're going to have to get a trainer out. I think maybe just a cramp, but boy, he walked away from that play slow and then grabbed the hamstring, the back of the leg area, and went down.
Well, to his credit, he stayed with Brandon Lipford, a very quick receiver there down the field, and was able to make the pass deflection. Lipford scoring a touchdown, a long one, 51 yards, the first time these two teams got together. And that now puts West Allegheny into a 3rd and long situation, a situation we saw a 3rd and 8, I believe, in the first half.
Right.
And no, pardon me, it looks like a 4th down because they did elect to take the sack.
Yeah, they took that. They took the sack instead of the penalty. And Delmar King will be helped to the sideline. We were talking about Coach Lobig. He married a collegiate soccer player. Her name is Lindsay, and they had a son. And their son's name is Beckham Breeze Lobig. Beckham for the soccer side of the family with his wife. Breeze, of course, after Drew Brees. And they combined their love of the 2 different kinds of football for the name of their son, Beckham Breeze. Here's the snap. It's a low one, and a punt angled towards the near sideline is going to hop out of bounds around the 40. That was Skylar Mason that punted that ball away. Mason had 1 punt last week. That's the second time, that we have seen him here tonight. He faked the first punt, didn't pick up anything.
It makes me really, really warm and fuzzy inside to see a punt play executed. Finally,
a ball actually go forward.
A change in field position of a somewhat substantial amount. That's what it's all about.
So the Colts will take the football, 9:16 to play. Again, the clock here will be rolling in this second half as they start at their own 40. Here's a handoff to Poche, and he is going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage, dives forward to where the ball was snapped in there, number 27, and that is Cameron Cornell. He has looked really good tonight, Cameron Cornell, the hybrid linebacker that they have.
Really active defensively. Jake Cunningham, of course, going out with an injury early in this game, and Kenny White from the safety position has been everywhere for this West Allegheny defense through the first half and change.
Just 63 yards on the ground for Char Valley in the first half. Trips to the near side. They are bunched together. They are going to give it off and not get much out of it as Poche again can't do anything with it. Maybe a half a yard, that's it. Dominic Poche been tough sledding. We heard about this trio of guys in the backfield, Poche, Alzen, and Pisano, and they just have not been able to get it going. Collins with 42 yards rushing in that first half on 9 carries, including a touchdown, but the other guys just have not done much of anything. Here's a pass to the near sideline. That ball nearly intercepted by Whitney White as it was overthrown. They were looking for Atchison, the tight end, and another third down goes for naught. Char Valley now 1 for 6 in this ball game on third down attempts.
That's not the first time we've seen Jake Collins have a ball sail on him when he's looking to throw down the field, especially to his left side. That play looked very similar to the interception we saw right before the half. And in those third and long situations, you have to throw the football down the field to the marker.
Collins now 4 of 13 for 51 yards and an interception. Sky-high punt will bounce at the 34. It's going to roll back and be picked up around the 26-yard line by Mason. So Skylar Mason is marked down around the 30 with 7:19 to play.
Indians take over first and 10 around 30.
These teams both in action next week as well. For Hopewell, it's bad news. West Allegheny's coming their way. Hopewell lost 40-14 to Char Valley. Char Valley losing 42-7 to West A, and West A will take on Hopewell next week at 7 o'clock. That game will be in Imperial at the home of the Indians. faking the snap, now running an end around to Lipford. Lipford has some running to the far side, gets to a tackle, he has a first down and more. 45-50, cuts it back to the middle of the field, still on his feet, he's over the 45 and he breaks free! 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Spectacular run by Brandon Lipford, 70 yards on the play. That is a highlight reel caliber run. One play, 70 yards.
I wish we could see a replay.
Oh, my.
I was looking back trying to figure out where he could have been tackled the first time because I assumed him down. He could have been brought down on the West Allegheny 37-yard line, I believe, and probably at the 37-yard line of Chartiers Valley as well.
That is the first time this season that Brandon Lipford has touched the football, and it goes for 70 yards. They had not caught a pass yet, and that his first carry. One carry, 70 yards. And he shook nearly every guy on the field in a gray jersey off and then took it all the way. The extra point, hesitating on it, was Stout, but he gets it up and through for the point after. 49-7 is the score. Spectacular 70-yard run by Brandon Lipford. West Day rolling. It's the ProGrass First and Turf game of the week here on the MSA Sports Network.
MSASports.net is the place to click on every day this fall.
On Mondays, we have the latest MSA Sports Top 10 football rankings.
Tuesday is a look back at the biggest and best plays from the previous Scholastic football weekend with the plays of the week.
We go big game hunting on Wednesday with a preview of the top 4 WPIAL football contests.
I'll look into my crystal ball on Thursday with the wildly popular Chicks Picks.
Also on Thursday, we preview the college football slate in the region for the upcoming weekend, then we recap those games each and every Sunday.
A complete rundown of all the games comes your way on Friday, plus plenty of broadcasts to choose from on Friday nights.
On Saturday, we'll take a look at the top performances with Friday night highlights. Then on Sunday, a look back at the previous day's high school standouts with Saturday's Scholastic Stars.
Anytime, anywhere, always there this fall with the MSA Sports Network at MSASports.net.
One play, 70 yards, including the time that was run off for the Mercy Rule clock, the continually running clock. 43 seconds expired on that total drive until the extra point was kicked. And West A now up 49-7. Alongside Andy Stanko, I'm Josh Rowntree here in Bridgeville. Low kick going to be fielded at the 11-yard line by Alzen. Alzen running to the far side, up over the 30, gets down to about the 35-yard line. Char Valley will get another shot with the football. It has not gone their way. 7 touchdowns, 7 extra points for the Indians. They have had a total of 8 drives.
It looks like we have a quarterback change for Chartiers Valley.
All right. You're right, we do. It'll be Reed Brueggemann. Talked with Coach Lobig before the game briefly about Brueggemann. 5'8", 168-pound sophomore, the backup, and he fakes a handoff, brings it to the near side, has some running room. Good little juke move he gave there on a defender, and he picks up decent yardage. 8 on the play for Reed Brueggemann. Well, and even though things are not going Char Valley's way, a chance here for, again, another young player, a guy that will likely take the reins as the starter next year as a junior, a chance for him to get meaningful minutes in a high school football varsity game. So not the situation that you want. You want to be on the other side playing your backups while you're up 49-7, but if you can't do that, at least you get the experience going forward, potentially throughout the rest of this season, and then, of course, into next year.
And he's certainly seeing a varsity defense with this West Allegheny group that he has out there.
Even with the backups that are in now for West A, it's a nice group of players, there's no question. sub was made by Char Valley, so that allows West Allegheny to make one as well. They hand it off. It's Olsen coming to the near side, and a good open field tackle made by number 34, Mike Clarkin, 5'8", 185-pound junior. Well, Steve Olsen, thought we would see a decent bit out of him in the run game. Ran for 56 yards last week. However, today, 2 carries, -3 yards for Olsen, the 5'11" sophomore. Brueggemann will take the snap. He will keep it, and he will be stood up and buried. Doesn't even reach the line of scrimmage, and he was met hard by number 54. That is Dustin Longstreth. And Brueggemann lost a yard, about a half a yard on the play. Another failed third down attempt. .350 remaining in the quarter. Low kick, line drive, going to hop at the 35, going to get past the returner. He may have touched the ball. There is a flag down at the 30-yard line, dancing with it, and finally being dropped back around the 25-yard line. A backup returnman. That's number 45 for the Indians. That's Rajon Demas.
Rajon Demas on the return.
3:31 to play here in the third quarter. Running clock in effect. So the flag went down. I didn't see a call, though. Some confusion, it looks like, over on the West Allegheny sideline. Yeah, they're getting the chains down. Chains took a little while to get down the field. Well, since that Collins touchdown run, turnover on downs, punt, interception, the halftime whistle, and then 2 more punts. That's how the drive chart goes for the Colts. West A starts at the 25. We will likely see reserves in the game for them as well. Under center, it is a new quarterback. That is going to be a handoff, though, first. Number 2, Will Weber running with the ball. Boy, we have seen Weber make an impact. Tyler Gallant is the new quarterback, as Weber on first down will pick up 9.
Weber, a special teams player. 2 blocked punts early in this game.
Special teams player extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire. Punt blocking machine. Still looking for the elusive punt block number 3 on the evening, but still, nonetheless, a great impact on today's game.
So Gallant, the quarterback, he will hand it off again to Weber. Weber stood up, trying to dive for it. Kind of a long kid is Weber. He's listed at 5'11", but sort of tall and lean. And the second effort looks like it gave him enough for the first down.
It is a Indian first down, 1st and 10.
2:15 to play here in this third period. West Allegheny looking like they're going to move to 2-0 in both the conference and overall. West A, they scored 42 points a game last year. They're over that the first 2 weeks already. I-back set. Gallant will take the snap, hand it off. Weber has some running room up the middle, pushing his way up over the 40 and down to about the 41. That's a gain of 6 yards on first down.
And West Allegheny really went unchallenged the first few weeks of last season as well. Not really anybody coming close the first 4 weeks before running into Montour, playing a close game, 21-14. But scoreboard watching, if Montour is having trouble with Franklin Regional, which West Allegheny handled quite easily, that bodes well for the Indians.
2nd and 4. Receiver each way for Gallant. He'll hand it off. Weber dancing through, has an opening, has the first down, has more. Flag flies, still on his feet as he crosses midfield to the 45 and down to about the 40-yard line. But we'll check that flag. It's going to be thrown right at the 40. Potentially a gain of 20 yards, but it's coming back. Fourth penalty on West Allegheny. They've had 45 yards of them.
Holding against West Allegheny marches the ball back to the 30-yard line. So that will be second down and 15.
Second down and 15 will be the down and distance. Mentioned what one team is doing next week in West Allegheny. For Chartiers Valley, boy, it does not get much better. They have to go to Montour next week. Montour in a battle with Newcastle. We talked about that earlier. Rolling is Gallant, coming to the near side, looking, staying on his feet, and dipping out of bounds at the 31, maybe the 32-yard line. Give him just 2 yards on the play.
Driven out of bounds by number 20, Logan Scott. Bring up a third down and 13.
So Tyler Gallant at the QB position brings up a 3rd and 13, and that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. West Allegheny 49, Chartiers Valley 7. It's the ProGrass First and Turf game of the week right here on the MSA Sports Network.
No regrets. You may have some regrets in life, but not with Erie Insurance. We'll treat you fairly and won't penalize you for a mishap. And we have great rates. So instead of regrets, get to know Erie. See for yourself why more than 90% of Erie customers stay with us year after year. Get a quote today.
Call the Mills Agency, servicing Greensburg, Ligonier, and Jeanette. 724-834-3015.
Erie Insurance.
Sounds of a blowout when the band is playing through the second half. Unfortunately, that's what we have on our hands right now as West Allegheny, after 3 quarters, up 49-7 alongside Andy Stanko. I'm Josh Rowntree. By the way, thanks so much. If you're watching this game, is the ProGrass Spotlight Game of the Week. Our man upstairs, Scott Majeski, filming away. What a great job he has done all night long, and for the last couple of years, Scott filming these games. So a big shout out to Scott Majeski, working hard on the camera up top. We certainly appreciate it. And so far, West Allegheny through 3 quarters. I think the big story is West Allegheny overall starting to look like the West Allegheny that we know that may potentially be the best team in AAA. So Gallant will drop back here on 3rd and long. Looking downfield, he throws one up in the air, and it's going to be knocked away, incomplete, as number 25, Carlos Norman, came in to make the deflection on a ball intended, or excuse me, that was 29 was the intended receiver. That was Brock Downing downfield. A good play by Carson Rodriguez, a freshman, to break it up. And 4th down and 13. And they're going to punt the ball away. A low snap, bobbled, and they're going to fall on it. And this certainly has all the makings of a JV-style football game here with 11 minutes to go.
Another punting mishap.
Yeah. Well, Stevens and White, the senior duo for West Allegheny. Second half, 1 carry combined. That was Stevens for 4 yards. But it was what they did in the first half that mattered. Stevens finishing 15 carries, 115 yards, and 3 touchdowns. White, 8 for 67, and a pair of scores as well. 10:47 to play. Ball for CV starts at West Allegheny's 23. And here comes a play to the near side. Olsen running with it. He is going to be caught from behind and slammed to the turf. A gain of about 1 on the play. Good pursuit there by E.J. Bauer.
21-yard line. A pickup of 2, 2nd down and 8. Nate Veslowski and E.J. Bauer on the tackle.
Give Olsen 2 on the toe. What a brutal stretch, though, for Char Valley. You get Hopewell to start the season, but then you hit West Allegheny and Montour. Maybe you get a chance then in week 4. Not to discount them against Montour, but that'll be a tough game for Char Valley, as it appears now, to win. Then you jump back against Blackhawk, and maybe a chance to grab a game there. And then how about non-conference against Bethel Park? Man, I think you get a win maybe in your non-conference when you're a struggling team. Nope, you play one of the better teams in Quad A.
No. 1-20 against the Parkway since joining in 2012 outside of against Hopewell. Blackwell the only other win for Char Valley.
Handoff, Olsen going left side, bounces off a man, and finally will be slung to the turf. That's going to be a loss of about 3 yards.
Is that Will Weber again?
Man, this kid can play, can't he? My goodness.
He's been all over the place defensively. We've seen him offensively get a number of carries and move the football well. For West Allegheny, the future is bright with some of these guys on the defensive side of the ball who probably will get carries moving forward in the coming years. I'm looking at Will Weber. I'm looking at Kenny White, brother of Whitney White. They've had an impact on this game defensively and in the special teams game.
Dropping back to throw to the near side, and that ball incomplete. Reed Brueggemann airing it out there.
Steve Olsen falls incomplete, and the Indians will take over 1st and 10.
It was 4th down, so failed conversion there. West State gets the hold. So again, Char Valley, their drives here: turnover on downs, punt, interception, half-time whistle, punt, turnover on downs, all after the touchdown run by Jay Collins that made it 21-7. And it looked like at that point that maybe the Colts had some life, but it just wasn't the case. I-back set as still in at quarterback is number 8 for West Allegheny. That is Tyler Gallant. Logan Malatic, I believe they said on the carry there. Gain of 2. Another handoff to Malatic, running through a hole over left guard. I'll move it down to about the 30-yard line.
Brings it out to the 30-yard line.
Gain of 7 on the play.
3rd down and a long one. Reed Brueggemann and
I-back set again here for the Indians. Gallant getting some experience here late in the ball game. He will turn around and hand it off yet again. Going to be enough for the 1st down for Malatic. Gain of about 5 on the play. Well, looking around the WPIAL, Mars hangs on to defeat Armstrong 31-27.
brought out to the 34-yard line, and it's 1st and 10 for the Indians.
Try to get an update on those Parkway Conference scores as well. Fresh set of downs here for the Indians. disappointing night for sure as we take under 6 minutes to go for Char Valley. So Hopewell defeats Ambridge 20-13. Big win for Hopewell, bouncing back after a tough one. That's surprising. Ambridge was a team that a lot of people thought would be maybe a team to be reckoned with. A surprise team, if you will. I heard potentially that there was an injury in that game to Ambridge's starting quarterback, but boy, Hopewell certainly a team likely projected last in the Parkway, so that's a tough loss there.
Montour up 27-19 over Newcastle. Late third quarter now.
The legal procedure against West Allegheny will march them back 5.
Penalty flag flies on the Indians as just a formality now with 5 minutes to go. Well, coming up after the game, it's the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show with Don Rebel and a cast of thousands from the MSA Sports Control Center with all of the scores from Week 2 of the 2015 WPIAL football season, plus Josh Rowntree, that's me, and Greg Kuntz join Don on the roundtable. Don't miss the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show after the game, only here on the MSA Sports Network, so you know where I'm going next. It's going to be over to World Headquarters in Rowntree as we recap what looks like a pretty exciting Week 2 of WPIAL football.
I hope they have snacks at HQ.
Knowing the crew that is there typically are plenty of snacks.
Great.
Dante Flatty will get a carry here late in the ball game. We'll get a couple.
On the tackle. 2nd down and 10.
Reed Brueggemann stepping up and making the tackle, as you heard on that play. Some games on the network tomorrow as well. 3 of them, in fact, at msasports.net. You can take a listen to those ball games tomorrow. Don Rebel moves from the studio to the field.
Logan Malatak.
Maladak again on the tote. 1 yard, and that brings up 4th down. Shenango and Newcastle playing tomorrow. That's going to be a big game. Shenango and Neshannock, not Newcastle. Shenango and Neshannock playing tomorrow, 2 top 10 teams. Also tomorrow on the network, Riverside and Western Beaver. South Allegheny and Seton LaSalle will do battle. Here's a punt, ball away. And on the return, Char Valley coming to the near side with some running room is number 20. That's Logan Scott. Logan Scott, who we've seen kicking so far, getting involved in the punt return game.
But we have a flag on the play.
But there's a flag, and nothing like a flag in a running clock game with all the subs in. I believe that there's at least one other Saturday game tomorrow as well. Saturday slate, South Allegheny against Seton LaSalle. You can hear that on the network. Western Beaver and Riverside, Neshannock, and Shenango, all on MSAsports.net. Union will take on Bishop Canavan as well at 7 o'clock in Single A. Also in the Eastern Conference in Single A, the Clareton Bears going up against Wilkinsburg. Could be a tough afternoon for our good friends at Wilkinsburg.
I've got the Bears in that game.
Yeah,
for the record.
I'm going to take them, and I don't know what the spread theoretically would be, but I'm probably going to take that as well. Boy, Clareton has just looked great the last couple of years. One down year, I guess you could call it. They made a semifinal run. A lot of teams would love that. But yet again, the Clareton Bears, one of the favorites. I would say the definite favorite. If anybody doesn't think they're the favorite, then they're probably a fan of the school that they're that they're picking to be the favorite, and blinded by the fact that the Clareton Bears are probably at another level than everybody else in Single A this year. I think that they will unquestioned Unless there's some sort of unforeseen circumstances, the Bears will be standing at Heinz Field with some more hardware when it's a little bit colder out around Thanksgiving. Chartiers Valley takes over at the 41-yard line. 2:55 to play as they begin the clock again. It is still Reed Brueggemann at quarterback. 4 receivers out on the field. They're going to hand it off, and Brueggemann's going to keep it. Excuse me, he comes to the near side. Brueggemann's still on his feet as he hurdles a man to the 40 and is knocked out of bounds. How about Reed Brueggemann making some plays here late in the ballgame? Saw him on defense, saw him on offense. I think Chartiers Valley may have their quarterback lined up for the future. Lost his helmet on the play as well.
Showing that he's a pretty elusive runner, a very nice fake there. And if anything Coach Lobig can teach, it's the pocket passing skills because of his time as a quarterback and his experience at both the high school and college level, something they worked on really extensively with Jake Collins this summer. The same process could be applied to Reed Brueggemann, someone who has been a part of the system during this whole Coach Lobig era here at Chartiers Valley. So potentially they do have their man moving forward in the seasons to come, even though Jake Collins will be here the rest of the year.
How about this score from out of the WPIAL? 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Meadville leads DuBois 71-63.
That's one heck of a scoring summary.
That's a high score for a basketball game in high school nowadays, let alone a football game. 71-63.
Oh, they're not done.
No,
they're not done.
That game is going to see even more points. Woodland Hills leading Bethel Park late, 28-17. Dropping back as Brueggemann throws to the near side, incomplete.
Pass from Reed Brueggemann. The number 15, Dylan Adlack, falls incomplete. Second down at 10.
MSA Sports everywhere tonight. 39 broadcasts we had on the network. You can listen to this one and watch it archived after it's over. Plum leads North Hills 10-7 at the end of the third. And Brueggemann faking the handoff. He's going to keep. He has some running room. He's over the 35, over the 30. And he'll make it down to about the 27-yard line. A pickup of 12. Reed Brueggemann getting some yardage back to the overall total here late in the ball game as we tick towards a minute and a half to go. Score from Major League Baseball. Pirates lead Brewers 4-2. Late in that ball game. Here's Brueggemann again on the keep. Dives down to about the 26, not much there. How about this? Thomas Jefferson getting a game from Bell Vernon in a major way. 24-21 late in the third quarter.
Thomas Jefferson up in that game?
They are, 24-21. My goodness. Could TJ lose twice to start the season? Some people thought that they might. That would be nearly shocking for a team that was ranked number 1 in AAA in the MSA Sports rankings. Brueggemann bounces off a man in the backfield, has a man open downfield, passes it up though, and will tuck it and run. Boy, he had a wide open receiver heading towards the end zone. That was number 16, the man downfield, Shane Magnifico. That would have been Magnifico if he could have tossed that ball downfield, but just couldn't do it.
Carlos Norman on that tackle.
And a timeout, it looks like, going to be taken as a man a bit shaken up on the play. That was the player who knifed in Tyler Gallant and bounced right off of Reed Brueggemann.
One backup quarterback going after another backup quarterback.
Yeah, they're these guys out there right now, though, they're not really quarterbacks. They're football players. They're just trying to get out there and get some time in the game. They don't really care. I don't think most of these guys where they're playing as long as they get a chance to play in a varsity game. Big score from AAA. Mars defeats Armstrong 31-27. That's a big win for Mars. Here's a deep throw downfield, out of bounds though. A leaping attempt in the back of the end zone for Dylan Ablak. Ablak could not pull it in, though. And that will do it. That was the final play of the game as the Mercy Rule clock runs out. And West Allegheny got up big, led 42-7 at the half. They add on to it in the second half with one more touchdown. They come away with a 49-7 win on the road here tonight in Bridgeville. The Indians now 2-0 overall on the year. They are 2-0 in the Parkway Conference as well. 1-1 are the Colts of Chartiers Valley, both overall and in conference. We'll step aside when we come back after this short break. We will look at the final stats and the scoring summary from this 49-7 victory for the West Allegheny Indians here tonight. You heard it right here as the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week on the MSA Sports Network.
Attention business owners and marketing managers. MSA Sports Network offers a cost-effective way to expand your advertising efforts, increase your bottom line, and promote your brand and services in the communities you serve. Offering you flexible marketing plans with numerous multimedia combinations, the ability to target your local customers within a 5 to 10 mile radius of your business, industry exclusivity, available via sport, season, community, or region, and outstanding return on investment with all MSA Sports sponsorship opportunities. MSA Sports Network represents the most efficient and effective ad placement in the broadcast industry. To learn more about advertising opportunities on the MSA Sports Network, contact Glenn Anderson at 412-362-2000, extension 2225, or ganderson@msa.com.
The history books are filled with the names of great athletes and great teams from Western Pennsylvania. They share stories of great victories and stunning defeats, but they all have one thing in common. They know the championship season is the time to be first. First Commonwealth Bank, proud sponsor of the WPIAL and the best high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. First Commonwealth, time to be first.
Hi, this is Don Rebel inviting you to log on each Wednesday night at 7 o'clock for This Week in the WPIAL, only here on the MSA Sports Network. Join me along with other MSA Sports members each week as we talk to head coaches around District 7, plus run down all the high school football action and preview the top games for the upcoming weekend. That's This Week in the WPIAL, Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock, only here on the MSA Sports Network. When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, First in Turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, First in Turf.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything right. I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
All right, back here on the postgame show, wrapping up this 49-7 victory for the West Allegheny Indians here tonight. Let's take a look at the scoring summary as my broadcast partner Andy Stanko will bring that to you.
In the first quarter, really, West Allegheny got off to a quick start, stopping Chartiers Valley and then blocking a punt, returning it for a touchdown. Will Weber with the block, Kenny White with the touchdown, 7-0. Not even 2 minutes into the ball game, and then you have another short field for West Allegheny, or off a turnover for West Allegheny, a fumble by Chartiers Valley, capped by a 16-yard touchdown run by Terrence Stevens, 14-0 West Allegheny, and then another blocked punt leads to a 10-yard drive, a Whitney White 1-yard touchdown run, 21-0. Chartiers Valley battles back, a 72-yard drive, a 3-yard touchdown run by Jake Collins, 21-7 the score. And then really things get out of hand in the last 5.5 minutes of the second quarter. A 62-yard touchdown run by Whitney White, and then a couple of touchdown runs by Terrence Stevens. And all of a sudden, it's 42-7 at the half. And in the second half, just one scoring play, but it was a doozy. Brandon Lipford on an end around going 70 yards for a touchdown, 49-7 the final of this game, and really a dominating performance from West Allegheny, certainly looking like one of the top teams in the Parkway, one of the top teams in AAA, and living up to it this week.
All right, a couple of scores to get to you before we take our final break. In the Parkway Conference, a final from Hopewell and Ambridge. Hopewell comes back to beat Ambridge 20-13. Central Valley leads Blackhawk 40-12. Montour still clinging to a 27-19 lead over Newcastle. Mount Lebanon handed Moon a tough loss, 48-14. That's a look at the Parkway Conference tonight in the WPIAL. We'll take one last break, come back with the final stats from this one as we wrap up the 49-7 win for West Allegheny. It's the ProGrass First in Turf Game of the Week right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Who says you can only enjoy breakfast in the morning? And who says you can only enjoy it one type of way? At Dunkin' Donuts, breakfast is delicious any kind of way, any time of day. A breakfast craving can strike any time, whether it's morning, noon, or night. Dunkin' has the perfect combination of breakfast deliciousness to satisfy any craving. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant, ham, egg, and cheese on an English muffin. All your favorites anytime you want them. Stop by Dunkin' for breakfast anytime. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, First in Turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, First in Turf. For the most complete recap of Friday night's WPIAL football action, tune in on your way home from the game to the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show here on the MSA Sports Network. Hi, I'm Don Rebel. Join me in the MSA Sports Gang for all the scores and recaps from the top games, plus the MSA Sports Roundtable. That's the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show after the game on Friday nights on the MSA Sports Network and at msasports.net.
All right, let's take a look at some final numbers from tonight's ball game. Josh Rowntree here with you alongside Andy Stanko. We'll start with the Chartiers Valley Colts. In the loss tonight, they were led in rushing by actually Reed Brueggemann, who came in late in the ball game, 6 carries for 45 yards in this one. Jay Collins had 9 for 42, including a touchdown. Phil Pisano had 2 for 13. Dominic Pochi, 4 of 11, and Steve Alzen, 5 for -1. Jay Collins, 4 of 13 through the air for 51 yards and a pick. Only attempted 1 pass in the second half, and it was incomplete. Brueggemann was 0 for 3. Delmar King caught 2 passes for 26 yards. Eric Atchison, 1 for 13. Jared Nelson, 1 for 12. They had 110 on the ground, 51 in the air, and that was a total of 161 yards. 4 penalties for 40 yards. 1 of 8 on third downs was Chartiers Valley. 7 first downs they picked up during the course of the ball game. For the victorious West Allegheny Indians, Terrence Stevens led the way tonight. 15 carries for 115 yards and 3 touchdowns. Whitney White, 8 carries for 67 and a touchdown. How about Brandon Lipford, who came in sparingly throughout the game? 1 carry, 70 yards and a touchdown. He is actually the second leading rusher tonight for West Allegheny. Nick Ross, 2 for -3. Colby Stout, 1 for 6. Tyler Gallant, 1 for 8. Malatak late in the ballgame, 5 for 15. And Dante Flatty had 1 carry for 3 yards. Nick Ross through the air. You asked Coach Palco earlier if they were going to throw the ball more. Nick Ross did. He threw it 4 times instead of 2. Still not exactly Patriots Steelers last night airing it out, but 4 passes in the ball game for Nick Ross. Tyler Gallen threw 1. It was an incompletion. The 2 completed passes were to Jake Cunningham for 16 yards and Kyler Mason for 10 yards. West Day picked up 297 rushing yards, 26 passing yards, 323 total yardage in the game, 323 to 161. 5 penalties on the Indians for 50 yards. Still want to clean that up. A couple of bad penalties they took in the ball game. 3 of 7 on third down in the contest, and 12 first downs for the Indians in this one. Up next for West Allegheny, it will be a return home to take on a struggling Hopewell team that did get a big win tonight against Ambridge, but a team that lost to this Char Valley team pretty handedly. For the Colts, it will be tough for them. Again, a trip to Montour at 7 o'clock next week. That will be a difficult game for the Chartiers Valley Colts. Again, Char Valley now 1-1 on the year overall and in conference. West Allegheny 2-0 overall and in conference on the season. Andy, my man, good working with you. I'm sorry that we...
the first half was fun.
I'm sorry that, the first half was a good time. We saw some points. We saw some varsity players. The second half was not quite the case.
We saw some punts.
We saw some punts. We saw some JV players. But that's maybe what was to be expected in this one. I think Char Valley was hoping maybe not necessarily to win being the ultimate goal at the end of the day, but to at least compete. Unfortunately, it looks like Char Valley maybe still kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit here in this Parkway Conference.
My advice to our listeners is certainly listen to every broadcast with West Allegheny, but pay special attention to Week 5, Montour, Week 9, Central Valley.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'm not sure you're going to get anything that's different than what we saw tonight.
You may want to pay attention to Week 7 as well, the rematch from last year against Woodland Hills. Non-conference, but boy, that is going to be something special yet again. It was a great one last year, one of the best games of the entire season, one of the best games in the last few years we saw last year between those two teams. That'll be a good one, and you get the feeling once again as Coach Palco and Coach Novak go at it, two of the winningest coaches in the history of Pennsylvania football. Good working with you, man.
Fantastic.
It was fun. I look forward to doing it again. Thanks so much to everybody that helped out with the broadcast. First of all, to Scott Majeski upstairs for filming this one. Big thanks to Scott for all of his hard work throughout the broadcast, getting this one as the ProGrass First and Turf Spotlight game of the week. Thanks to Don Rebel and Mike White for the halftime show, all the folks back at MSA World Headquarters, Bob Palco, Neil Lobig as well. Thanks to my broadcast partner, Andy Stanko, and most of all, thanks to you. I'm Josh Rowntree saying so long here from Bridgeville. Tonight at Chartiers Valley High School, West Allegheny dominates their way to a 49-7 victory over the Chartiers Valley Colts. You heard it right here, as always, only on the MSA Sports Network. Click on over right now, MSASports.net. The scoreboard show has already begun with Don Rebel and a cast of thousands at MSASports.net. Good night.
You have been listening to WPIAL Football 2015 at MSASports.net, sponsored in part by First Commonwealth Bank, by Carlow University, by ProGrass, by UPMC Sports Medicine, by Dunkin' Donuts, by Grove City College, by Dollar Bank, by Erie Insurance and the Charles M. Mills Insurance Agency, and by Management Science Associates. You can follow the 2015 WPIAL football season and all of the high school football fall sports by logging on every day to www.msasports.net. The preceding has been a special presentation of the Management Science Associates Sports Network.